Why do you keep going higher and higher?
I didn't do this, actually.
You must have switched them. This is ridiculous.
I don't even know how to do it. I'll just leave it.
You're going to fall down. There's a little thing on the side.
Oh! There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So at about 11, I'll light the altar candles and the candle and the backflow.
You do you, boo.
Can
Really?
anybody hear us now?
Yes, I just told you we're live.
Oh, let me pull it up on my phone and pause it.
Yeah, we're going to pull it up here too. So, hi. I don't think anybody's in yet, but we are officially live, I think. VG is ready to come in. Of course.
Anybody hear us? Anybody hear us?
Yes.
All right.
Now, where's all my stuff disappearing? I can't find anything. You might need to let that thing in, or I can, after I light this.
I can let her in if you want me to.
Yeah. So as much as we don't want to have all this, the animal noises, yeah, it's just part of it, right? It is what it is. Get our charcoal going. Take our time this morning, just relaxing a little bit. Lots of energy last night in the Malice experience and in the post show. So today we are going slow.
Yes, honey. I was looking for pagan topics, and with y'all's discussion heated last night, we don't need any pagan current news. Y'all created it. Woo!
You just grunted. Or was that your butt?
That was my butt on the chair. I almost popped some popcorn.
You mess. We have a couple of cool topics today. It's going to be relatively low key. Like I said, we're being slow today. 11 o'clock we will get started video on, but we are getting ourselves set up. I kind of like the 15 minutes before of just getting things put together and chatting about stuff.
It's a nice part of the process, I think.
It gives us a little bit of leeway so we don't freak out.
A little warm up.
We're doing our third of 3 tarots today. It's actually an oracle deck by James Eads. We did the light visions, the prisma visions, both of which were tarot, and today we're going to do cosmovisions, which is an oracle.
Cosmovisions.
We're going to go deeper into the Litha discussion this week, as opposed to in the last 2 episodes. We've really just kind of touched on it. But we actually have our full ritual. We're going to be talking about a full moon in just a few days. How do you celebrate the strawberry moon? Strawberry moon.
I feel really slow today.
17.
So when is she? Let's see. Oh, it's coming up. Wow, the 14th. That's in the week.
Mm-hmm.
That's Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday. Strawberry.
So we have our strawberry moon.
Strawberry wine.
Which you probably need to pull a few things up on, right?
Yeah. Ooh, we're 94%. We are powered by the moon. I'd like a coffee cup that says that, powered by the moon.
I think there is one, probably.
And then with, like, you know how the loading screen shows the bar, but have the moon with the status, like loading in the moon. You're not going to give up, are you, ma petite?
Hey. Ooh. Did I hear somebody growling already?
Oh, Tina tried to bombard Ma for a seat. Tina, I'm sorry. You are my buddy, but she came over first.
You need me to take my...
Yeah, if you can take Placette, I'll take Tina back. Hold on, big Tina. I'm trying to work it out for you, honey.
Oh, she mad. These chairs lean a little too far forward for them to sit in our lap.
Yeah. You're like the flower impatient.
I'll take the teeter bug.
Oh, come here, witch. Is that paranormal witch? I know her tagline anywhere. Let's see.
Hey, paranormal.
Hey! Good morning. You're not late. A goddess arrives exactly on time and when she was supposed to every time.
Or when she plans.
Or when she arrives.
Don't start that, honey. You're not getting in our lap.
Ooh, Miss Paranormal Witch had a good blog post last night. I read it on Medusa. It was cool.
That's what I used to call my sister as a nickname, and she hated it.
Medusa? Well, I don't think it's not a positive ring to it, does it?
Oh, it's my sister.
We need to help Paranormal Witch get a YouTube channel. I told her she should start doing videos
cool.
on her blog topics.
That would be cool.
Ah, Heather!
Good morning.
Good morning, Dragon Dancer. Sorry.
You're funny. Oh, I'm tired. I should not have stayed up that late last night. I'm surprised I had the wherewithal to leave when I did actually leave because I was tired.
I'm old shit. I was having fun, but I had to get off.
Yeah. A good discussion last night, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think. It was a little cray, but.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, today's gonna be a little bit softer.
We're a little more moded, a little more muted.
Moded?
A little more.
We are moding all over the place.
Ooh, I feel slow today. But that could be the medicine.
Yeah. I need to start doing a better job of like advertising and shit. Because I don't know how to do that stuff.
God, I haven't stayed up till 3 since I don't know when.
Yeah. That was rough.
You're too busy. Oh yeah, I totally get that.
100%.
Totally get it. But if you ever do want to, I think it would be really cool.
Oh.
If you ever are willing, have the desire, and are able, I think a lot of people would really like it.
I will say too, for many of you that don't have time for a channel or to keep up with it, I would be more than happy for you, if you wish to do it, to make your own video and we will post it on our channel as an associate kind of thing.
Oh my God, I would love that.
So like, you know, if you want to do a little 5-minute or 10-minute video of something, just let us know ahead of time that you want to do it so that we can make sure it fits in, and we'll make a Pondering Pagan Friends section and you know, share, because you guys have a lot of really great ideas that I think people would really love to hear. And while you maybe are too busy to have a full channel running, I can certainly do the video editing and put some of that together, and that would be fun. I would love to do that.
Yeah, Paranormal Witch, and I'll say it again at the end, but her Instagram, Lady Rose 819, she's got some great blog topics that she goes over on her blogs. It's really good. I always enjoy them, and I like the one of Medusa.
All right, this little chi that's in my arm, she's gonna have to go down. Come on.
Oh, my petite.
Because I can't. I need both my hands.
You're gonna have to go down. You want me to place her on the couch? So she can get comfortable.
So she'll get right back down, run back in here, make me feel guilty. I love you, teeter bugs. And now I am home office this week. You are going to be in my lap all week, and you know it.
Oh, that's awesome, Paranormal Witch. Well, I think you did a good job in it of giving her a voice.
We'll ask that private. I have some private questions that I want to ask. I don't know. Well, it's just Dragon Dancer and Paranormal Witch. I really enjoy the interaction and sharing information, especially when I don't know it. If it's like a blog writing, it would be cool. I would think, you know, like to have paranormal. Either you read it, or if you like gave us permission, one of us could read through it like a story, and post it as a video.
I'd love for her to do it.
That's what I would love too. But you know, if you're too busy.
Yeah, or if some people don't like being on camera.
Video, yeah. I'm not saying I wanted everybody to just send us their video so we can, pop off of it. We're not monetized anyway.
No. Yeah, with 2 viewers. I mean, obviously not.
Well, but I mean, like the real piece of it is like the more information, the more sharing and stuff. If we can assist in that in any other way, we would be excited and happy to do so. Because I'm going to do the same thing. We're not. I think we've talked about this before. Our channel here has never been about viewers or getting larger. Granted, it's nice to see the number go up because more people are available to see content and to connect, but it's really just about trying to share our thoughts and ideas and things that we all love. And I never would have thought to write anything on Medusa.
No,
me
either.
I know very little about the Fae, except what I've read and been told by a couple people. And I've worked with Fae before, but I'm not an expert. So if somebody else has a new side point to it, that would be very cool to link it or see it. But I'm just saying, if you don't want to run the channel, we'd be more than happy to push on that too, to share it. And there's a couple of what do you call it? Groups that will write blogs and things and kind of speak through them as a story time and little short 5-10 minute videos. I always thought that stuff was fun.
And I get what you are saying about like the length of time to write Paranormal Witch, taking the time, and I think that's important to do, and you need to take the time, and however long it takes. I know when I was it seems like if you say, oh my gosh, I gotta write this post or this ritual today, then it's like everything gets in the way to do it. So you kind of have to flow with when you're pulled to do it, and sometimes that can take time.
Yeah, and it will take time.
It's important to take the time. It's awesome. It's like, I don't know if you, in your writing, you come into this.
Just for the record, be careful, just so you know.
But when I was writing my ritual, it's like I'd have the ideas come, and then one thing would lead to another. So I'd have to look up, like,
excuse me.
Let's say I was talking about harnessing the power of lightning and storms for magic. Then I'd have to look at, okay, what would be a protection against lightning? And then I'd pull that up, and then it'd go like down not labyrinth, but set off a whole chain reaction of other things to look at, which was the fun part. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely. I bet Fae were fun to write about.
Yeah, and we're pushing really hard on our Fae garden, and I think today, this afternoon, or when it cools down a little bit towards dusk, we will probably go out and weed it and make sure that there's room and space. Because it's been set up for a while, but it's been lightly neglected. So
my fault.
I'm excited. Oh, both of us. So I'm excited to kind of do some of that stuff too, and I love working with the Fae. When done respectfully, it's not something to be afraid of. Like some people might lead you to believe.
Do you believe?
She's definitely a Fae.
And all of the Fae.
Ooh, we have a special guest. Super incredible special guest.
Who is it? I can't see.
You know her very well. Very, very well.
My mom?
Yeah.
Oh, good morning.
Our video will be on shortly. We got about 2 minutes until video goes live, but welcome in. And everybody say hello to Miss Susie Chin. That is Mr. Rook's mother, if you do not know. And just for that, it is probably a good time now then to give a quick doggy update before we turn on the cameras. Ma Petite's hives are gone. She's got a little bit of red rash left from everything that's been happening. She's good. I know you talked to her already, but just for everybody. And then, Ma Petite's doing really well. She's back to normal. Finn is really good. He finally pooped for the first time, so he's seems to be pretty much back to normal and trying to get used to his cone, but he is the drama queen and he is still mad at us, and you can tell. But animals are all doing really well, so we're in a good animal space. I will say too, the storms this past couple days have been insane. So
I love it.
well, hopefully we don't lose power again, because things have been kind of a little touch and go here, and some of these storms have been pretty big. Mom Rook. It's funny. I love it. Oh, yep, and there goes the notifications.
But as Susie Chen and Paranormal Witch know, we've got some good short-lived storms here, but there's no better thunderstorms, rainstorms than in Texas. Lightning, thunder. Oh my gosh.
Lightning and the thunder. Oh, thank you, Paranormal. Yeah, they are. They're, well, all but one.
Don't talk about Iris.
See, you just assumed it was Iris.
Oh, I know it's who you're talking about.
I know she can't help it, but it doesn't make it any less true.
Well.
She's just even sweeter.
Oh, I love the Texas storms. But I bet y'all are tired of them.
Oh, I love a rainy night, such a beautiful sight. I love to feel the rain on my skin and taste the rain on my lips. You're not doing anything wrong. So we go live at 10:45, but we don't hit the video until 11, which is right now. So it will come up on its own. There it is. Woo! So.
Ooh, it's awful smoky in here.
Fine, I won't burn it anymore.
Burn more.
Yep, we're done.
More.
We're done. That's enough. Right when I burned your coco. Acapal. Ugh, it's terrible. Alright, so I think we're growing rosemary in the front. So I don't know if somebody dumped a whole bag of rosemary or something, but it's growing in the front yard, or at least it looks like rosemary at the curb.
I have to go look.
Yeah, you should.
Haven't noticed. Good morning. I hope everybody had a great week. It went by quickly, as they seem to do these days.
Yeah, the weekends have been freaking crazy. Just like literally start and then we're done.
We're in the middle of June already.
Yes.
Coming up on a full moon Tuesday.
Yeah. So we got a lot going on in the world. I'm going to start off with the tarot deck.
All right.
So this is the third deck that we reviewed by James Eads. Haven't been doing a whole lot with them. And welcome, Joy.
Good morning, Joy.
Oh dear. They all ran. Something's wrong. Gotta be the thunder. And the lightning. So, anyway. So this is the James Eads Cosma Visions Oracle. They're yeah. So the really important thing with these decks is that the imagery and the way that they work together is just really pretty. I think they're gorgeous, and this is still a 78 card Oracle deck, which is extremely rare. So it's the full deck, but it's not your standard tarot. Now it runs like a tarot. It has suits, but the suits are a little bit different. I will share those too. This is the mini version. I have the large version in the back, but it is you can see that mirror foil on the edges.
Of course you do.
I know how to cut this right down the middle and make you not appear in the show. I can do that. Beautiful backside. Like, these are technically reversible, which Rook is going to show them to you in a minute because Vanna here needs to help. But if you are paying attention enough, you can tell when they're reversed because the top of the card has a little bit lighter color and the bottom has a little bit bluer on the back. But you'll see that when he shows you. So I'm giving him the 0 card. And this is the Death card. This is a Major Arcana. So he's going to show you the back first, and then he's going to show you Death. And I want you to take a picture. Just take a quick look at that card, and then at the end we will do some tarot. But that's the back. So perfect. So you can see it's like if it was reversed, you would be able to tell because you'll know that that blue is the bottom and that yellowy, orangey color is the top. So not that that to me necessarily matters. And then on the Death side. Now, remember the last 2 decks that we looked at Light Visions, which is monochrome, and Prisma Visions, tarot, which is a little bit more colorful, a lot more colorful. So this is even more so. This is extremely vibrant and cosmic. And you've got the Death, the journey of this, what do you call it? Oracle is different, obviously. So like I do read sometimes, I read my Major Arcana separate from my minors. I would definitely do that in this deck. Yeah, don't sit your butt down. Rook will like this one. These just look at these 2.
Oh, the Crow and the Swan.
Mm-hmm. The Crow and the Swan.
Put up the Crow first.
The Crow. So again, you can see all the different colors and images that are useful in here. And now, the major, I don't want to call it the Major Arcana because it's not really a Major Arcana, but the main system cards. I want to see if he calls it. I don't think he does. Yeah, it doesn't call it the majors and the minors. It's just the visions and the oracle. So they each have different. There's different meanings, of course. There's a different process. It does. It's very similar to the Eye of Protection, and it's on all of his decks in a different manner. So yes, paranormal. Who was asking about that? The Eye. Where'd it go? Paranormal. Yeah.
Swan.
And then the Swan, and then you've got like there's the Peacock and the Pelican and the Phoenix. And then you work into, instead of lovers, you've got soulmates. You've got the spirit plane, the orbs, the cosmic tree, the life map instead of the Wheel of Fortune, karma, and sacrifice, past lives. Now, you get into things like the vessel and the shore. So it's just a process, and it is a much more, to me, I would love to see this system in different decks if he were to do additional ones like that. So right now, I think he's taken time to work on the Lenormand. So that's just that. But we will talk again. Super sturdy cards. Whether you get the mini size ones or the large ones, which of course I have both, as Rook so eloquently pointed out.
Melvin, good morning.
Melvin. But I want to point that, before we even do that, we have Embers as a group, right? So my assumption Embers would probably be like your fire, right? We have trees, which I'm assuming would be like earth, birds for air, and lotuses for water.
Oh, cool.
So it just is completely different in the system. Now here's what makes this deck super cool. There are no kings and queens, no sages, no, what do you call them? Court cards in this deck. You have aces through 10s as your minor, and then you have your major, but then you have an entire deck, additional set of cards of 12 cards that are just a part of the whole process too. So it's almost like a fifth, what do you call it? A fifth deck. So I'm going to show Rook here how it looks, because it does the same thing as our other decks do. See how they line up and they create a story.
I wonder if I can hold 3 of them up to show it.
It's so freaking beautiful. I love this deck. But then like you go into that's kind of fiery, right? And then you notice, even though it doesn't call it, you go into the earthy or the watery realm. And then you eventually go into that's the water realm there. But that's just kind of how it works, and it goes through these. It's just so I can't get over it.
Do this. Let's see.
Well, do you want to you want me to grab the book? Because the book has them all laid out together.
Oh, does it?
In the book, yeah.
Let's see.
I'm gonna see if I can grab the book real quick because the big book is really good. I don't know if it's back here behind me or if it's in front. But let me see. Probably have it up in the other room. Let me check real quick.
See if I can get it here. I don't know if you can see. He's getting the book, but I don't know if you can see how the cards go in order and form an illustration of a story. Might be kind of hard to see, so we'll try with the book.
So yeah, I found it. So we talk about tarot being art and things like that anyway, which I think is something that's important just to be a part of, even if you don't necessarily do oracle. So this is the Cosmovisions Oracle and the Book of Prismavisions. So we're looking at the Cosma. So if you open it, try not to bend it too hard.
Okay.
But this is all of the
cool
paintings laid out as if all of the cards of the entire arcana are together.
I'll try to keep it folded to this degree.
Yeah. So you can take a look at what Rook is showing you from left to right. Those are all of the cards laid out next to each other. So I've had this deck for quite a long time. The minis I just got, but the large ones is neat. It is something I've been using for a while. Cosmovisions is new, and that's what you're looking at. Now, Rook, if you close the book right in front of you, now flip it head over tails. The other way. Front to back. Yeah. Now if you open the pages, you're going to see the other deck laid out the same way. If you did it right.
No.
One back. Usually. It's in there somewhere. Might be the third or fourth page. But yeah, so you have this whole new set of workings and how things go. And that is the Light Visions, the first deck that I got from him a couple years ago. Again, monochromatic from left to right. And it tells you the whole story of the arcana, of the journey, the Fool's Journey in each set. So it's kind of like, you have your major arcana, that's the true Fool's Journey from 0 to 21. And then in the minor arcana, you're seeing all the little pieces play out from 0 to King. I just love the way he does these decks. It is so unique and different. So yeah. But that's the tarot deck I wanted to review today, or I should say oracle deck, because like I said, it is an oracle deck.
So that number of cards is unusual because typically oracle decks have like 40 or fewer cards, would you say? 32, 35?
Yeah, it's usually somewhere between 30 and 50. So paranormal, you're talking about I have so many decks that I don't actually use. Well, number one, I have a problem of my collection, and I would never, I wouldn't call myself an expert on tarot. I am absolutely an enthusiast. I feel very connected when I do tarot. I feel very comfortable with the tarot. And I just really enjoy doing tarot. And what I don't know if I'm going to answer your question this way, but I have two pieces to it. Number one, what I find anyway is I keep one or two main decks, and then every once in a while another one kind of filters in that I like and will use for a while. But even with that, what'll happen is I'll be looking through something or talking to somebody, and I'll just pull out a deck I've not ever used before that's in my collection, and I'll go right back into just using that, and it becomes a new favorite deck. And that's how it happens a lot of the times. And then as far as I'm not a big fan of doing tarot on streams and stuff. It's not as comfortable for me. I do it, I like it, and I don't mind doing it. Even last night, I don't like doing the read like that. I like doing it in a controlled, slower, my own space pace, versus, that the I don't know, the general energy reads. They're fun on the Mouse Experience. I like them. But doing a real down and dirty tarot reading like I do on my own channel, on this channel here, and really focusing it's different, and that's what I really enjoy more than anything. So
You like doing private ones, like one-on-one for people.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And then
I agree, Melvin.
well, here's the thing. I admit I have a problem, but I'm rationalizing that it could be so many other things that it isn't, and I don't feel overwhelmed by it. I don't feel like it's getting in the way of anything. I'm not, not eating to buy a tarot deck, or I'm not snorting a tarot deck on the corner, or having inappropriate relations to get money to buy tarot decks. I'm not there yet. So for me right now, I'm kind of okay. The problem, I do joke a little bit about it, and maybe I shouldn't sometimes, but I definitely have a lot of tarot decks, and I don't. We've talked about it too. Some people will come back, and they're along the lines of, I don't have that many tarot decks, or that's too many tarot decks because you're just collecting them to have them. Well, that's true. I like collecting stuff. You should. My spheres, which are behind you won't be able to see them, but I have, what do you say, about 30 or so, 20 or so spheres.
Yeah.
And my gem collections and things, and I just like to collect stuff, and I really, really enjoy it.
And the way you do tarot, I do books. I've got so many books I haven't read or even started, but if I find a book that seems interesting, I just get it anyway. And one day I'll read it. Maybe when I retire and can spend time.
Yeah, that yet.
I'd love to take a year off work if I could afford it and read for a year. I'd probably get through, I don't know, a good amount of the books.
Yeah, and I know part of my life path is I have a problem with possessions. I feel good with possessions. That's a Virgo thing to do. Like, the queen and king of Earth are going to be about possessing and holding things in and keeping them, right? I like to have the stuff. Stuff makes me feel good. But I will tell you, the thing of where it changed for me from no longer having what I felt was a true problem, or being overly obsessed with having things, was when I literally said to myself out loud, and I was comfortable saying it, all this stuff could be gone and I would still be okay. As long as I've got Rook and my dogs, probably my dogs were first in that original sentence.
Oh, yeah.
Lose the house, lose every book, every tarot deck I've ever owned, lose all of it. I would survive. We would make it. And when you hit that point, lots of things fall off the problem, but I don't know, I have this vision in my head of our whole edge of our witch room becoming a library where people just come over and say, hey, I just need a place to kind of zen for a minute, grab a book and grab a cup of coffee and sit. Don't even talk to us, and then leave. Can't take the book, though. Virgos won't let you have it. You can lend me one, but I can't lend them out. That's what libraries are for. I'm being honest. Possession. That's a good one.
Ooh. So there's a couple of things. Well, a couple of things this week. One Saturday is our Letha gathering here with Tribe, but Friday, am I able to share your event, Joy, or talk about it?
While we're looking for an answer on that, one of the things we are going to talk, so I'm really glad Joy and Dragon Dancer, you guys are in here. Well, obviously Paranormal Unexplained too, but you two aren't coming to my house this coming weekend, and they are. And so we're going to be making a blend for Letha. We have picked a few small things out that we want to utilize. And so we're going to be burning a couple of things and kind of mixing in some spices together. So we were going to get some opinions of everybody. That includes Paranormal, Unexplained if you want to, and anybody else for that matter.
Oh, I love Melvin. Thank you.
He doesn't have to deal with the big head.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Mel.
Oh, yes. So Friday, I am really looking forward to. Joy is giving a talk at Casa Shanti in Fort Myers at 7 p.m.
Downtown Fort Myers. Yeah.
And I'll let her type and share what she wants to, if anything, about the topic or what it'll be about. But I'm really looking forward to it, and it's much needed. And then next week, which I'm excited for two things. I'm excited for the Letha ritual that they're doing at Cosmic Connections in Fort Myers. But I'm also excited to check out this shop because of what Joy said they do. You know, they're getting together items to kind of sell. How long has Cosmic Connections been open, Joy? Has it been a couple months?
Paranormal sticking up for me, and I appreciate it. I'm
Oh.
writing that in the book, Mel.
No, Melvin is always awesome.
I just look like
Thank
warmed
you.
over chicken shit.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, is that what he said you look? No, Melvin wouldn't say that. Melvin doesn't
I didn't
even
even
curse.
I didn't say that. Like, you just made that up in your head.
Oh, no, it came. I was sensing it from you.
Keep sensing because your sensor's broke.
It probably is broke, but I'm fixing it. I'm repairing it.
That is too
Good.
funny.
Oh my gosh, that is going to be awesome. Ways of Druids in Modern Times will lead you through Bard, Ovate, and Druid. Awesome, 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 awesome.
It's exciting.
I'm
It's always
really
exciting.
looking forward to that because we've known Joy 3 years, a little over 3 years, and the friendship and mentorship. She was there for me a couple of years ago through a rough time and helped me get through it. And I'm happy and excited to go learn Friday from her. And for the Ritual Tuesday at Cosmic Connections as well, where I think there's going to be sound healing. Is that correct? Next week are we going to have the sound healing at the Letha Ritual at Cosmic Connections? I believe so. And let me tell you something. If you ever have the chance and haven't, or if you've done it 100 times, to go to a sound healing, that just really, it'll
It
blow
does.
you away in a good way. And
Yeah.
Anna is awesome. I don't know how she moves and does what she does with so many tools, but she does it.
Yes, she does. That is definitely a good one. If you are ever in Fort Myers and any of those areas, well, obviously you should catch up with us if you're from out of town. But those are some individuals that really, really have some good sound things going for them. So
I'm
love
going
that.
to see if I can employ Anna to do a sound healing for my managers at work.
They need it.
They do need it. I think it'd be really good.
Yeah.
So a good week, a busy week, but a good week. Some great things. The full moon, Joy's talk, Saturday's ritual,
Yeah, so let's
Tuesday's ritual.
kind of run through that timeline. So we've got full moon coming up, and we need to make a small blend for full moon too. I don't want to forget, but that's going to be the strawberry moon's going to be much gentler. But anyway, so we got full moon on Tuesday. We've got, like you said, Joy's Casa Shanti on Friday.
Yep.
We have our Letha ritual at our home. It's going to be a very short ritual. The bigger thing is eating and pool. And then we are watching Midsummer Night's Dream on the Overpool projector,
Yeah.
which will be fun. If we can find a good version of Midsummer Night's Dream, if anybody knows of one, let me know, because I've been finding some really crappy versions, and I don't want like the Hollywood version.
Yeah.
I kind of want like a group play or a college play maybe or something on YouTube. I'll pay for it, doesn't matter, but I'd like a good version if anybody knows one.
I wonder if Netflix has one. We could look there
Yeah.
too.
And then we're going to move into Tuesday is the Cosmic Connections
Yep. 7 p.m.
Ritual. Yeah, so a lot of things going on, a lot of really good things, but it's been fun. So
A lot of it's needed. I know
Yeah.
for me, I'm really excited. And yes, that's awesome, Melvin. Singing bowls, tuning forks, certain bells, vibrations. Yeah.
So, I think one of the most amazing things that Anna has done, when we did the first sound healing at the Grove,
Mm-hmm.
she has this, and I know there's a word for it, I'm sure, and Joy will probably clear it up for me. But it's like the bubbling brook, but it's wood. So it's a wood, and I'm pissed off because I found a really nice bamboo and wood soundy maker thingy. What is it called? The jang?
Rain, not a rain stick. What she has is not, right?
No, but I'm talking about the thing we hang outside that makes noise. Ding, 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 ding.
A wind chime.
Wind chime, thank you. So I had a wind chime that sounded just like that. But anyway, so she has it, and it just sounds like this bubbling brook. And the way that she's able to move it, I don't know what she's doing because my eyes are closed, but you feel like you're in the middle of the brook. Like you can almost feel the water. And those wood things are the ones that I really enjoy. I love singing bowls, say Mel.
Ooh. Brazilian
Then,
nutshells.
Brazilian nutshells. Oh, they're just freaking amazing. I need me some Brazilian nutshells.
Yeah.
So Paranormal was asking about deck having spirits attached to it, like Melvin's. Most of my decks, I would say no. My kind of vision and version of spirit's a little bit different than some, but what it does carry, or what does carry spirit and energy for me, are my main decks. That's my Wizards Tarot, my Steampunk Tarot, and probably a couple others, but they kind of grow into that. Like it's not, each one doesn't have its own spirit to me, like its own spirit existence. It does have its own spirit energy. But they call to me when they're ready to. I have pulled out a deck. I'm like, I bought it today. Just making it up. Bought it today. It's ugly. I don't know why in the hell I bought this deck. I put it away 2 years later. I pull it out. I'm like, this is what I need right now. It's just how it works for me. So I enjoy that. I think that's really fun. So yeah, lots of stuff going on.
Who's that?
Iris has moved into our water altar.
Okay. Oh, she's balanced or getting balanced.
So we have one of our chihuahuas. None of the other ones do this, but one of them. She literally goes from altar to altar, tries to get underneath them. She goes under the main altar. She goes under the candles at the earth altar. She gets under the fire altar, and she literally gets up in the main altar and under the east altar.
So she's practicing what our book that we're reading tells about how your altar, whatever it is, but specifically shadow altar, can move, can change locations and directions, colors, and correspondences to align with what you're working on. So that's what Iris is doing, some shadow work.
Yeah.
Or getting balanced.
She's bringing in that air energy and doing it well.
All right, good job, Iris.
So, before we go on to the next topic, I think I wanted to go ahead and hit on our blend. So if everybody's okay, we want your input. We're going to start calling out a couple of things. If you know about it, or if you think it's a good inclusion, then say it. If you don't, or you think it should be left out, then say it. I will supersede everybody on one decision that's going in there, and it's not going to be a lot, but I am putting Hing in there as part of our fire blend. Just wait to see who's like, no, please don't. Joy. But anyway.
No, but
So-
you said it's called for. In
It
this
is
one.
called for, yeah. So, I've got the big Mama Jamma here, and we're starting with Copal as part of our base, which is no question that is a fire aligned.
Oh, I love
Let's in everything
Copal.
aligned. Like Copal can hold up anything.
Ooh, St. John's wort.
I don't know if we have St. John's.
Let me check.
I don't know if we
I
have
don't know if
St.
we do or
John's.
not, but I will look.
Oop. Just trying to break up the big chunks real quick. I apologize for the noise, but I don't want a piece to pop out and get in the dogs. There we go. So I always like to break up if we're using any resins first, because that helps grind the rest of them. Miss Susie Chin, yes, we absolutely are interested in doing readings via live stream. We do actually do some readings generally at the end of this. If you're still around, we will be able to do one, and we usually will open up and ask if anybody would like a read. So, absolutely would be interested in that.
It's really fun when Joy's here and we all pull cards and from different decks.
So yeah.
I enjoy doing that St. John's Wort.
I don't think we have St. John's Wort as a thing, if I'm not mistaken, but interesting. So I am going to put in a little bit of hing. Now I will keep it limited because I know not everybody likes me and my hing, but it literally is one of my favorite scents. And it is so funny because I know how anti this scent some people are. But we'll burn a little bit.
Oh gosh, look, we find all kind of things.
But be careful, there's some belladonna in there. You don't want to be sucking on that stuff and getting it on your hands.
No St. John's Wort.
Alright. Joy's going to offer us some, she says.
Awesome, thank you. That's what she said.
Stupid. Alright. So, again, we're looking at fire-aligned herbs. But I also want to point out that when you do a blend, and when you're working with blends, and this is just my personal opinion, we do want to use fire-aligned blends for this because we're working on a fire festival. This is a solstice day. This is, hottest, well, not hottest necessarily, but highest day, longest day, that kind of thing. When you're working in equinoxes of days are equal, and when you're looking on solstices, which is the longest and shortest, you kind of work in that season, right? So we're in summer, so we think heat, we think hot, we think fire, which is appropriate, right? Because this is a bonfire thing. This is all about the fires and the cleansings of, and the births of, and the sprouting forth, and not like the spring things are just shooting up, but like the true full force of the sun is coming at us. And it's this huge push. And so we want to do a lot of fire, but we also have to be careful. We want some balance in there. So we are going to include a little bit of earth alignments and a little bit of water potential alignments and a little bit of some other alignments that will go with it. We've used this process in the last 3 or 4 we've made, and it's worked very well intuitively. So before we go to the next one, I want to catch up on the content here. Ever since you do your shadow work and you go to work, you feel different, but people at work think you're an asshole. Can you tell me why you think that? Not sure I understand 100%, but I have done shadow work before, but the difference is when you do shadow work again and you work on the processes that you do, like for me, I become a little bit more of my own, what do you call it? Champion, there's a word for it. I used
Advocates.
it. Advocate, thank you. You become a better advocate for yourself, right? And I've always been a little bit of a doormat. I take a lot of stuff before I go off the deep end. I will apologize for other people's mistakes. I'm fine with it. It's not an issue for me. But when I go through and work through shadow work, it does remind me that I might do that too much and that I need to stand up for myself. So the 8 years of really, really nice salon will sometimes pop off when I wouldn't have otherwise done that and I do it in a very good way. And that's part of the shadow work where I can feel confident that I'm telling you how I actually feel. And I will say to somebody, like, look, you're used to me just saying yes. I'm not saying yes here, and I meant what I said. You are being a bitch, so you need to stop. And I'm not, just because you're crying, I'm not going to say I'll take it back. I feel bad and empathy for your crying and for you being upset about this, but it doesn't change the fact that we need to work through a process, right? So I really think that that's kind of, I think that's what you're talking about when I was talking about, I have been an asshole a little bit, and it's probably not really me being an asshole. It's just me being an advocate for myself more than I normally am. in my position with work, I do pretty well, I think, being nice, it's keeping the niceties while still getting my point across, but sometimes it doesn't work. And instead of employing my boss as the enforcer,
The bad person?
yeah,
The bad guy?
I choose myself more now than I would have even a month ago before starting any shadow work, because I see that that's something that has to change, and it feels good to do it in the right way. So it's been really nice, yeah.
Ah! Just kidding.
Thank you. And yeah, paranormal, I think it's probably just I don't think anybody honestly thinks I am an asshole. I think that they think that I'm being more of an asshole like lately. Like I'm being a little bit more short. I'm having less time available to do things. Like I don't have time to whine about certain things at work because I mean I'm running all over the place. So it's like, look, no, we're not doing this. I'm not going to get on the call and explain it to 50 people. Thank you. I don't have time, but don't do it. Bye. Ooh. We had a bird just land up there. It was a biggie, but I can't see him on the other side. Anyway, my headache's going away, so I'm starting to feel hyper again. And that's the hing that gets me all excited. I love it.
I'm sorry I laughed when Paranormal Witch put, you seem really nice.
That's projection.
That's the medicine.
That's projection. You are projecting. All right, let's get back to what we're talking about. I would like to add...
that always hits me.
Well, you know why, and I apologize. That's because it actually burns on the block. If it didn't burn, it wouldn't hit you like that.
No, it's okay. You can still burn it.
No, I'm just moving the white side over,
Just
so that it's not burning.
pay no mind to me coughing.
One of the things. What the hell happened?
Oh, wax fell off.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure we're not melting through my table again. Anyway, so one of the first things I want to add is annatto. It's an orange-red condiment. Food coloring comes from the seeds. It's from the achiote or achiote tree. I can't say it properly. It gives colors mostly. It has a good aroma and a good flavor, but it is a bright, bright red. It is a true fire representation. So I do want to add some annatto in as part of our blend. I did this for our last one and our other fire blend.
Oh, you can tell me to get it?
No, I'm just thinking of something else at the same time. But the annatto is going to be very important to me, so I'd like to add the annatto.
Oh, you got this pretty good.
Working it. I know how to work that stick.
All right.
No, you're fine. You can give me the annatto, though. Does anybody object to some annatto? It's on the left. There's other things I wanted to talk about. That's calendula.
Oh, is this?
Mm-hmm.
Annatto. You want me to show for the team?
Shit, it's getting me now. My demons! My demons!
Calendula, mum, or marigold petals.
I like these because they look like little miniature peppers. They're the seeds if you want to go show them.
Yeah, we do. We definitely have calendula.
But we're putting a little bit of annatto in here. And I like the annatto because it really gives it a really nice red.
Tell me when I'm showing or not showing.
You're showing. That's the annatto seeds.
Annatto.
I know Joy knows I like annatto. That's one of my things I like to put in. But let's see here. Let's go back just a little bit to Joy's comment about needing water because we're in Cancer. So I think that's obviously very important. What would we use or could we use that would help with water?
Florida water. Water. Lavender?
I gotta sneeze.
Oh, lavender could be water, couldn't it?
Yeah, lavender could be water. I don't know if gardenia. I think I have.
Oh, I think I saw some gardenia.
Yes, yes, gardenia. But you know what? We also are going to throw in now that you have mentioned gardenia. We have a little bit. It's not a lot, but a little bit of gardenia resin.
This is gardenia from Joy.
Let's burn a little of the gardenia and see what that smells like. Gardenia always smells like Fruity Pebbles to me.
Oh yeah, rosemary, lavender, definitely.
And trying not to make too much noise because it's really noisy on the table.
When that's done burning, we'll do the gardenia. Coffee.
Doesn't that smell good, the gardenia? That's what's burning.
That's gardenia?
Gardenia resin.
Here's gardenia flower over here. Do you need anything while I'm getting coffee?
I could probably use another soda. This $30 that was that green avocado. Oh my God, why can't I think of any of my words today? The stuff that you make with the avocados that I absolutely love and he hates. $20 for this big 4-cup version or 2-cup version. Way cheaper than getting an actual mortar and pestle like that's got the witch name attached to it or something because they just charge double because they have it, right? And this is granite. And yes, Joy, you gave us some, so we're going to throw some gardenia. So would you say the gardenia is really water, right?
Yeah, I have the gardenia Joy gave us right here.
But that's for water. I'm just trying to, for education purposes, make sure I don't miss anything. Thank you.
That resin gardenia smells really nice too. So I'm gonna smell the flower.
Guacamole. Thank you, Jesus.
Here is when ready, if we can burn some of the actual flour.
Mm-hmm. So part of this whole process for me and the mixing of it is when I'm mixing and even talking about it, I'm talking about and thinking about the different pieces. Yeah, that can be taken in many different ways, Melvin. But I agree. I like it.
Cool.
I don't know what it sounds like when it's on the table through the mic. If that makes it sound even weirder.
There's something actually about doing it too that is soothing.
Yep. And that's like I said. I always start with what do you call it? The resins, copal or gum arabic is always a good base because it helps grind the other stuff. You know. Obviously, you want dried flowers because if you don't have dried flowers, it's really hard to break them up. And we have to be a little careful that things don't sprout all over since we're inside, you know, on the ground and on the floor because our poor little diggos probably wouldn't benefit from this part of the process, would be my guess.
Don't look down. Tina's there.
I see her.
Look at her. Just look at her.
We're busy, honey. Sometimes it feels like it's never gonna mix, but it always does. And we wanted to share this with everybody because, like, I'd like more input. When you think about what is a fire representation or what is a earth representation when it comes to herbs, we tend to think it's just like spicy is hot, you know, red and fire, and you know, but it's not. It's a multitude of different things, and it can mean different things. Oh, that smells good. Different things to different people. It's the gardenia leaf. But the whole process of this really is thinking about scents, right? So if you think about smells and scents, those are the things that are most connected to our memories. And when we're burning these things and kind of working through them, you know, we really understand and feel those connections maybe in ways that we can't necessarily speak of. And so that's one of the things I like about making these and putting all of these mixes together. That's why it's really important to me as a witch to do that, or as a pagan even. Not because it's some magical blend, because the creation of the different things together into something is what makes it magic. That's where the magic comes from. And then where we're going to use this with our group, that's magic. We do have holly somewhere. I also have mistletoe. Mistletoe was mentioned somewhere, but I definitely have holly. I just don't know where.
Oh yeah, definitely. Bay leaves and parsley.
Where do you see that at?
I'm reading Melvin's. Those are the thing: bay leaves, parsley, and flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And see, for me, I think.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, bay was on my list too. We want to add some bay. I don't know if it's up there in the kitchen. Nah, but we have some dried bay leaf.
Didn't see any. So
And if you want to do this for a little bit, I will switch with you and look. Yeah, mistletoe is definitely a winter herb. However, mistletoe itself has some representations that can be considered, I don't want to say hot, but from like the hot side of yin and yang. So that's one of the things that came up in doing some research. I'm not feeling that mistletoe would be appropriate here, or even the mistletoe berries. So I think I'm with you on that, Joy, but I think we have some actual holly somewhere.
bay leaves. How many shall you like?
Just give me one. I don't have fresh ones. We have like 5 boxes of these. One more. That's enough. And then what else we got?
Oh, tulips. I love tulips.
Mm.
Virginia was really big. The area we lived in, Virginia Beach, down in the town center, would plant tulips in the spring, and they were beautiful.
Yeah.
But they would bloom for like a week, and they were gone.
Mm-hmm. I've got a good dad joke. What kind of flower lives under your nose? Tulips.
Ha ha.
Ha ha. So, some other potentials that I had. So we need the holly. That's going to be one. I don't have blackberry leaf. That one I do not have. I know that makes me mad, Melvin. But it's mistletoe is not responsible for it though. It was how people treated mistletoe like it was nothing. They thought mistletoe was just not good enough to even be included on the list of things. So it's their fault. It's not mistletoe's fault. Why am I defending mistletoe?
I don't know.
I guess because everybody loved Baldur so much, except for Loki. I had a list of things.
Oh, thank you, Miss Joy. As you see, we do
Always.
keep and we use appropriately and sparingly.
Recommendations of calendula, which I think that is a good one to add. It is it's more spring.
Calendula.
But yes, calendula, and we're actually going to
is
go.
that this?
Yeah, we're actually going to go pick some clover. We have Mexican clover and then we have the little purple budded ones.
Ooh, that smells really good. I'd like to make a tea out of that, I think.
You can.
Calendula.
Yeah, so we'll have to look for that for the clover. The only other thing that I have on the table that we wanted to consider is hibiscus. We have red hibiscus. It's bright red hibiscus flowers, and we are considering that as an addition. Thoughts on hibiscus? Because hibiscus to me is a water. When we burned it last time, but it is a bright red. And again, like Joy said, we are in Cancer, so it wouldn't be a bad thing, I think, to add some more water. But we don't really need it, I don't think. So a little bit of hibiscus then, yeah. Let's see what...
She said yes.
You know what it smells? I don't know how, but there's nothing in here that should smell like this, but it smells like mint.
Remnants?
Like there's a mintiness to it.
Yeah.
You want to do it? This thing's freaking heavy.
Yeah, it is heavy.
Grab some... A little bit of hibiscus. Now, some people did recommend cloves. I feel like cloves could potentially be fiery, but I'm not feeling it for this mix for some reason. I think that is something I can reserve for the fall or even winter.
This is how it broke the other one.
Yeah, don't break it.
I don't want to break it. This will anger the Baba Yaga. This is how she travels.
Don't break her butts.
No.
So, and again, the whole purpose of what we're doing is just spending some time really thinking about Letha and what Letha stands for, the representation of the sun gods that we'll be talking and I don't want to say worshiping, but revering at that time. And that's why we do these blends. It's a neat way to really pull it all together and really enjoy it. So I've always tried, if you don't like to make blends and stuff, that's of course perfectly fine. You can have many different ways to do stuff. And I agreed with this one too. I think we're going to add a little bit, but the cinnamon is already powdered. Yeah. Not a whole lot. Cinnamon is strong. Another thing, and I know I've mentioned this before, you do, let me just get it together. You definitely want to be careful. Yeah, see, I match. You definitely want to be careful with things like cinnamon, clove, any type of, belladonnas or lox or, what's the other one?
Nightshade.
Well, any of those, and cinnamon, because they are really strong. And they can actually burn your airways when you breathe them and make your eyes look burned. So be careful with that. Burn them outside, especially if you aren't.
Ooh, rose petals.
Yes, rose petals was on the list too, but I did not grab them down.
I can grab them. Rose petals. Over here, buddy.
Yeah.
Rose petals coming up. I just saw them. Right. Yeah.
So far.
Well, these aren't really petals. Hold on. Let's see. Is this rose? My eyes are so bad.
Those are rose buds. So we have rose buds and rose petals.
We do have petals?
Mm-hmm. We've got both.
Oh, maybe back here. Oh, there's some more back here.
Thank you, Paranormal. I should do my own review. But,
It seems that the buds are more plentiful, so I think
Yeah, throw a couple buds in there.
we'll do rose buds.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot more pummeling. That is the one thing when you do these, like when you get the flowers in there, it takes a lot of work. Once they're in there.
Yeah, push them up a little. Be careful of thorns that might be remaining.
Cut it up right nice. Rose bud. What else did I just wanted to do? We did not do holly. We did not do blackberry. I think it was blackberry you had mentioned.
Oh, those did kind of do nicely, didn't they?
Huh. Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good book. I like Matt's presentation style, and it's not aggressive. It's not demanding of you having to do something a certain way. Just when you have an idiot reading it, But we're not going to talk about that on this day today.
I gotta watch Melvin's review on her books today.
Yeah, we should do
I wanna
that.
do that today. In fact, I'll probably do it after we finish here.
I'll get you caught up. So, belaboring the point of Letha. So, we have, our ritual that we've kind of put together. It's getting kind of windy outside. For Letha, and obviously, I don't really care about sharing, rituals and stuff. I think it's fine. I do think some parts of it are private and that you really want to keep to yourself. But you know what? In the interest of sharing, I'm going to share a lot about Letha, about our ritual and how we have it planned. also, I need to read through it to make sure we're prepared for this weekend. And here's the other thing that I've learned about ritual. The more mistakes you make, especially when you don't have the right this or the right that, or the wind blows out the candle and all that stuff.
The more genuine.
The more genuine it is, the more
better.
Just the more it is. So that's just, I'm really excited. If you are interested in writing rituals and things, it is always a good idea to have people read them for you, and give their input, and just stand true to what we've talked in the past about. If you don't feel right changing it, don't, no matter what anybody tells you. But we had a lot of work on this one and a lot of assistance. So we're going to talk about Letha in just a moment.
Ooh.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, and some people just are really like, I don't want to share all this stuff. And I will tell you, there are a couple, even Joy, some that you guys have done. You guys, because we were there, all of us, participated in at the UU and things like that. Some of them probably should stay private. I get that, but for the most part, what's there to hurt? And the more people that are engaged, the better. So when I write rituals, I do like a general planning and what's the summary of the information. So Letha celebrates the beginning of summer. It is the longest day of the year. In some traditions, you think of the battle between light and dark, or the Oak King and the Holly King as times change. We go starting to head after summer after the longest day anyway. You are starting to head into the barrenness of winter, because it's all downhill from there, right? That's when the earth is over the hill, so to speak. I kind of like the story of the Oak King and the Holly King. In its shortest version, since it's the longest day of the year and it will begin to shorten, the Holly King will win the battle until the Oak King rises again at Yule. But right now, Goddess is full and pregnant, and with growth we talked about, like all of the earth and fruitfulness of the earth. And then the sun god is at his height of virility, and the days will begin shorter. So lots of symbolism around Letha. But anyway, that's just one of the folklore. There's lots of lore around the summer solstice, and you find a lot of different things in different traditions.
I'm smiling because Universe in the last three things brought up something that Joy can share if she wants, but her statement was not about what they're asking, but it's funny how questions came up. What do you think, Joy? That's neat how the universe works. Oh yes, Melvin, intent, passion, and energy. Well, the energy that's raised.
And think about it. Like for me, it's not just the ingredient that matters when you're talking about any ingredient. For example, we had pine trees in our yard, and we burned a lot of limbs every year because we had a lot of pine trees when I was a young kid growing up. And I remember that smell. So for me, pine is going to have that memory for me for summer, where somebody else might have been burning dried pine wood all winter long, because that's how they heated their house in the mountains, for example, just making the stuff up as they go. And if that's the case, pine for them might be representation of winter. So you have to kind of work through some of those pieces. But it is the intent that matters. Like when we choose the stuff that we're choosing, that looks really good.
Good, or a little more?
We're going to probably have to do a little bit more, but that's really, oh my God, that smells good.
Oh, wow.
Smell that hanging there. Still.
Yeah, it smells really good.
I wish you guys could smell it. But yes, I don't want to say always that it's just intent or all about the intent or the intent that matters the most. It is. But the selection should be thoughtful. For example, if Joy says about the mistletoe, she's like, you know what, mistletoe can't go in there because that's a winter herb. And I say, look, it's important to me. Mistletoe is something we used during the summer. You know what? We may end up putting that in there because of that specific mean. Doesn't make it right or wrong, but it means that it's thoughtful into the process of what we're doing. It's thoughtful with the intent. It makes sense into the process.
Universe is coming up, Joy.
Sure is. We got to talk about that again.
Universe is bringing things up, Joy.
Giving you a message.
Reading, giving you a message. There is a message in the messages for Joy.
Letha symbols. Mead. So we have our 2 meads still brewing. One of them, one's 3 weeks and one's 4 weeks, I think.
Yep.
And they are still bubbling very slowly, but they're still bubbling. They should be about done with the fermentation process here shortly. But mead, meadow flowers, honey, which again goes with the mead, mistletoe and peak herbs, so herbs that are at their peak during this time. Oak trees, a full moon during the midsummer is also known as the honeymoon. So this strawberry moon, is it considered a honeymoon? It's going to be still in that full section, but not fully full. Perfect, yep. So you can see how hard we pummeled them in there.
Nothing wrong with a good pummeling.
Nothing wrong with good pummeling. Yeah. And I think that's the important thing, is things can be addressed differently by different people in different traditions. When we've made blends before, Joy explains, and when she's talking through it, you can kind of get exactly what the reasoning is, and it's very easy to connect those thoughts together, which is one of the things I love. Mead is the divine solar drink, healing and rejuvenating properties, which we both need. The bright colors, you got the blue, the brightest blues and yellows, that's of the sky and the earth, and you got greens, reds, and oranges. Colors of the elements is a great way to start. See? But let me finish this before we go there. Decorating your altars. So this is one of the things I find interesting. We talk about decorating the altar, but it's really important that too is an intended thing. Like on our fire altar, we use red, not because a book says you should use red for fire, because we also have orange and blue on there, because guess what? Flame has blue, right?
Yes.
So definitely. We have our blue and yellow and red plaid. That's the reason that it works for us, but that decoration is important.
Electric blue.
For Letha, we're going to set up our altar out in the yard, assuming it doesn't rain, because it might. Probably will.
We're in rainy season.
And finally. And so that altar is going to be, hopefully, anybody who wants to bring something, which we usually do at all of our functions, bring something in and, put those pieces together into dressing the altar in the way that works for you. Some things that you can do is oak leaves, acorns, sunflowers, wildflowers. You can see Brooke and I have our flowers up here. You have some, I think they're African purple violets. And then some other things that we picked along the way that we will use from our yard. What we're going to do in our ritual is we're actually going to be honoring Sol and Suna, which are the Germanic goddesses of the sun. And I am not an expert on this at all. I am slowly getting into Germanic and Norse and Slavic things over a period of time. But correct if I'm wrong, but this is written into our ritual as part of our backdrop, that we're going to be honoring Sol and Suna, which in some traditions or some texts are the same person, but in some they're not. In some it's mother-daughter here. There's a little bit of different myths, but we're going to do the Sol as the mother representation. And this is there's a whole Ragnarok story that goes along with this that we're going to kind of go over with the group for Saturday. And we will honor both Sol and potentially Sol's daughter, Suna, who will even shine brighter as part of that. And this is how we are going to work the ritual into shining our own light brighter so that the whole of everything can be shined brighter. That's kind of the goal. What I loved about this Germanic version is we honor Sol and Suna as the energies of the sun. And it's time to tend the fire of your own greatness. But her brother, Manny, god of the moon, I thought was really cool. It's backwards. And a lot of them are that way in the Germanic stuff. Because
you think moon, feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what most people do. And there's nothing wrong with either way, right? But that's just something that I thought was really cool. And then we talk more about Sol. We're going to talk also about Belinus a little bit, the Celtic sun god. So we're going to bring that into it. And then our actual process or our ritualistic behavior that we're going to do is lighting, our individual candles being lit and then carried over to the group candle to bring that flame up. And then we're going to be decorating our Fae tree with everybody as part of that offering, because this is going to be out in our Fae garden. We will call to our ancestors. We wrote a call for that. That was, I think Joy wrote that one, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to do a meditation that we put together, and then we're going to do a ritual inviting in the Fae.
Ooh, didn't I learn you don't use them?
We're not using them.
You do not use. No.
So, but that's anyway. It's just a little rundown of a ritual that we're doing, and my nerdy Virgo-ness is referenced it all. My resources, like it's a paper. But yeah. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Is that we've talked about Letha in each of these, but we haven't really gone into the detail of Letha and really gone into. What does it mean when we say we write a ritual? Well, we write something down so that we have a discussion about lore. So during our ritual or our process, if somebody else knows more about the lore, then we invite that in and have that discussion.
Hey, Noella.
Hey, Noella.
So can I answer their question because Joy gave permission about? She said we can tell them.
Just because Noella came in and you got to yell, "Hey, Noella," and I agreed, didn't mean I was finished with my content.
Sorry. I got a chance. You got to take that window sometimes.
I'm done. You can
jump in. So, you are asking. So, Joy has written a book, Pagan cookbook, for every celebration, to include its 5-course meal options, desserts, drinks, and every single thing. She walks you through history, which is really important, I think. The history of what's made and what's being used, desserts and drinks, and it's amazing.
It really is.
She's just got, this book has got to be published.
Yeah, well, think of it. It's where we've done not necessarily our stews, but a lot of it is coming from those ideas. But that's where our bread came from. That's where a lot of the things that we've cooked, Silent Supper, absolutely, and all those things that's come out of that cookbook. So very exciting for that.
So what Joy's book was it's an amazing cookbook for pagans and the different celebrations as appropriate to time, place, and location. And it's awesome. And we need to do that soon. Have Joy over and cook for, obviously it's not going to be Letha, but maybe the next one.
We completely ruined it by the molasses, the walnut brown bread. We just cook it all the time because we can't keep it to just one season. But the other ones are good too. I mean, they're all good. But that one I like because you don't have all the extra work and it still comes out nice.
We were fortunate to that Joy shared that manuscript with us, and we've been also fortunate because we get to cook and try out the food.
Yeah. Yep, and it's it really needs to make it out there because it has a lot.
Jado. Como talez-vous?
You're Sagittarius. Sag.
Oh, I'm a Sag. Who else is a Sag? Willow? Or Noella?
Woo woo. Yeah, we definitely need to rework some of our altars. I think it's time to reimagine some of them for us too.
Yeah.
I am waiting for Amazon to come today, though, getting off topic completely, because they have some shelves that we ordered.
Oh, yeah, very important.
Are going to be used to set up our layers, our dragon layers. So that is very exciting. That's going above our ancestor altar, alongside our green man and green woman goddess over here. Oh, that's so pretty.
And I want to talk on something Joy is big on and brings up a lot, and that's supporting local.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really important, and we've seen it here because our favorite, or I won't say it was your favorite, I know you liked it, favorite shop in Cape Coral just closed one day.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was right before COVID or right after it started, but it's so important. Yeah, some things it's very convenient to get on Amazon, but when you can, please try to support your local artisans, local paranormal shops too, metaphysical shops.
Yes, there you go.
Local artists. There's some really great people, and I agree with Joy and her message that we gotta support them when we can.
Yep. So the mead. I don't know if it's going well. I think it's almost done fermenting if judging by the amount and timing of the bubbling. Not yet. It's still bubbling, but it is extremely slow. And we were mentioned that it would take about 3 to 4 weeks for the full fermentation process. So we are having like just barely a bubble here and there. And then I think what we're going to do, if I'm not mistaken, is siphon it out over to another carboy, and then age it, but I don't know what we need to do with that. So that's where our next step is. We're going to need a little help. We've been watching a couple videos, so there's a couple of different ways to do it. Some people recommend Campden tablets to arrest the fermentation so that it can age. I'm not too keen on using chemicals to do that. I'd rather not. And then there's also the recommendation of refrigerator, that kind of stuff. I know this isn't necessarily the place for it, but we need some help with next steps and how we're going to do that. Because our blueberry mead and our honey mead both are slow in the bubble, and they smell so good. You can smell it when the bubbles come out. Oh.
Hey, is that book, real quick, can you purchase it now? I'm big on getting books, especially to support people, whether I know, understand, or have any interest in the topic or subject matter. Joy says you're correct. Allow it to do its thing. Don't.
Okay.
Shoot.
Yeah. So we'll just leave it.
And if Curtis's book is available, where can you pick up a copy? That might be Amazon, which in that case, Amazon's really good.
Yeah, and you're still supporting local.
Yeah.
Well, not our local. We're supporting his local. Yeah. So we'll let the mead continue to sit until there's literally no bubbles. We'll move it over to a new carboy and put another airlock on it, and we'll be as sterile as we can.
So Melvin, do you know if you can purchase Curtis's book yet, or is it just up and come soon? And I feel called to show Melvin my lamp. I don't know if he was in here. For some reason, I think of Melvin with my lamp.
That's, whatever works for you.
Ooh, yeah, please link it. We support everybody. And, of course, this one's looking it up now, too.
I sure am.
I want to show Melvin my lamp, and I apologize if you were in, Melvin, but I think of you for some reason about my lamp. Maybe it's the weirdness. Not saying you're weird. This is my baby doll lamp.
On the way.
Well, I guess it's a baby doll. Did you buy it?
Yeah.
What?
Uh-huh.
And her eyes light up when it's turned on.
Yeah,
Isn't she gorgeous?
I really like I really like Curtis's style of doing stuff when he's doing his singular like presentations of things that he's talking about. It's very thoughtful and direct. I like it. Urban mixing paranormal. Well, let me back up one more. Yes, Joy, getting a signed copy would be great. I probably can get Curtis to sign a copy.
Sweet.
And if I can't, I can certainly use all of y'all to do that. So, so herb mixing. If you cannot afford to get some herb, well, when you put it that way, different kind of herb. Can anything work for ritual? Of course. So, some things you can do though that could be helpful to you is look for or go out on a walk, right? Think of, and I know this sounds silly, but dried fell leaves or fell wood is good to burn if you have the ability to do that. You have that smell of summer for summer, but just think of those connections, right? But going in I see Virgo moon. I'm a Virgo sun and moon, so. But go into the forest, or there's a forest to go into. Like go on a walk, a nature walk, and look for trees that, at least down here in Florida, it's a little easier for us. But look for trees that might have some damage on them, like a woodpecker, or maybe struck by lightning, which happens where we see it a lot. or even the palm rats or whatever, where they've dug into it a little bit, and you'll see the resin and or sap on the outside. That's a really good pool, right? Place. Oh, that's a fridge. It's a really good place to get some resins from for free. You don't want to injure a tree just to get resin, but I've never gone on a walk, even just around the street. We see trees that have resin that have come out, especially pine.
Oh yeah.
That have come out of the bark,
Definitely.
and you can just pull that piece off and take it with you. It's a great resin to use. Any flour. So getting a flour and putting it between two pieces of paper towels, letting it dry is usually helpful. You don't have to even burn it. Like, that's just something we like doing. It's not. I just really enjoy it, and we have the ability to. But more and more we go out and find our own herbs, it just changes things. Even like I'm looking at the wheatgrass across the street. Like, you can pull all that stuff off, peel the ends of it, and burn it, and it smells like hay. And so that reminds a lot of people of summer.
Mm-hmm.
If they worked in the hay. So you just gotta find kind of what it is that you like. Do you like the scent? Is that a big thing for you? And if it is, go pick some flowers, dry them and or burn them. I recommend drying them first. Smell them and see what they make you think of. There'll be slight differences in each one, and you'll be able to kind of set them aside and see how you like them. Like we say incense blends, and we're thinking, you have to make incense. We literally just powder this stuff up.
Yeah, just like we did.
Yep. And then now I do like to add oil to them. Whether if I want to add an oil scent, I'll use one of our essential oils, or literally just vegetable oil, like olive oil, to bind it together and make it a little bit wetter so that it's easier to manipulate and it's not powdery. And you can also use honey to bind them together, which is probably a good idea for summer. And I would use the honey, let the honey like kind of dry into it, and then you can roll them into little balls.
Oh yeah, honey is
A good
nice.
one.
Yeah.
But you have to do it ahead of time. Like, we don't have time to use honey for this week.
You gotta let it 2 to 3 weeks once you mix it in to kind of
harden.
Yep.
Wait a minute, Noelle. What does that explain? I want an explanation.
What is she? What you're talking?
I love that. But yes, I am a Virgo sun, a Virgo moon, and a Taurus rising. So I am aligned with the earth, which is funny. I am very comfortable in the earth. I'm very comfortable being closed in. Like, I'm not afraid of where a lot of people get afraid of claustrophobia. I like to be closed in when I'm sleeping. I like to be surrounded, which is a very Virgo thing. But I'm also extremely comfortable in water. So water is like my life lesson has been water. Interesting shit. But yeah, oil helps a lot. Olive oil will help if you don't want to change the scent of what you're doing, but it'll help bind it. And you don't, like, I literally might use in this whole thing, this was probably, I would say, an ounce total, maybe 2 ounces of stuff that we've powdered. You might get 3 drops or maybe 4 drops of oil in there to kind of help bind it loosely. And then it still stays like separated.
Is that our last blend? Shall we combine to keep or no?
Yeah, we can.
And I kind of like to smell it. Speaking of,
We've been burning it. That's what we've been burning.
oh yeah.
So
Oh, this that we just made.
no, the stuff that was in here,
Oh, I'd like to.
because it's gonna go back in
preview it.
here.
My mom is Cancer. I don't know what I am. Oh, I know I'm Sagittarius.
You're
but
Sagittarius.
I don't know what my rising and setting sun and moons
Ooh, I can
are.
do those for you. I can do a natal chart. We'll do it.
Yeah, do me a natal chart.
I'll do you a natal chart. Can't believe I haven't done your chart already.
Yeah.
Little fucker.
What's up with that?
What is up with that? I have just enough coal to burn a tiny bit.
Oh, that
See.
might not work for me. I might need more.
Oh wow, that is definitely different.
Oh, wow. I smell
It's
gardenia
fiery.
strong. Gardenia is what I got.
I got gardenia and cinnamon.
Ooh, that gardenia is nice.
If you know, I'm not going to ask anybody to share it here, and please do not share it. But if you know your date, closest time, and the exact location of your birth,
Ooh,
I can run a
good.
natal chart and get you your your rising, your sun, your moon, and your rising. Now, there's easy ways to do it on the internet. You can go to Astrolab, but I actually can run the full ephemeris and put the whole entire chart together for you. Don't know if everybody knows I have that skill.
What's your natal chart done? Come to this one.
I need help interpreting it sometimes, but I can interpret the major systems and the big pieces of it and the symbolism. So, yeah.
Cancers are amazing family.
I can see that.
Definitely.
They can get crabby. Another dad joke. All right, Jen.
Oh, also we forgot to mention next Sunday is Father's Day, so
Yeah.
don't forget your dads or father figures or moms who've been mom and dad.
We call them moms with mustaches.
Moms with. Okay.
So, let's see, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yes, beach, ocean, materials, items you can put together. Of course. I am the same way. Like, it's weird. I don't ever want to be too far inland. So, can you imagine if you get an old fell palm frond or two and make a design out of it on your wall, even just staple them up? They last forever once they've fallen. And you'll always have a little piece of palm tree. You can use it to, make not a mural, but just as a covering or something on the wall. Palm oil is very difficult to utilize, but it is also something you can use.
The year is 1982 for the question. I mean, for the last piece of mine. 11/24/82.
How cute.
I'm your Venus. I'm your fire. I said Venus, not penis.
I was writing your actual year down.
77.
You're not supposed to say that on stream.
Oh.
We have plenty. There's also there's a couple of different trees that are really pretty down here that bloom. And Joy, you said it last week. And there's a neighbor that has one, and they have these beautiful red flowers, and they're fern-like. And those flowers, I would like to get some and dry them and see what they smell like. But I have to wait until dark to pull them because I have to go into his yard to get it. And I'm gonna get it.
Do it when the full moon so you can see and don't need a light.
Yeah. Of course, the beach stuff, feathers from the a lot of birds at the beach, yeah.
Shells, sand,
Sky rats.
coral, those little clam shells.
Clam shells. Well, I guess it is clam shell.
Ooh, seaweed.
Seaweed.
Yes. Palm tree frogs.
I think that's enough about Letha. I did want to talk about our two ongoing projects.
Ooh, Ziggy's. Ziggy's is Pisces.
Pieces.
Pisces.
I like that.
Sand and shells.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we're working on.
We are working on shadow work. Obviously, we've been talking about that. Our first episode came out Friday. Don't judge the editing. I'm not paid for this shit.
It's really just a raw look into our walk on the shadow work. It's not fancy. It's not exciting. I mean, it's just what it is.
Yeah, and we're gonna do it in just there's very minimal editing except when something happens with the recording, which does happen. So we're gonna just be doing our thing and sharing it with you guys, and we're going to, no matter how raw or personal it gets, we're going to share whatever comes up. I can tell you, we were just finished up the third episode, and it got a little deep for me. Like it's getting deeper and deeper with each one. So, episode 1 is out on Friday. I hope you guys check that out because we're trying to keep them under an hour, even shorter for that much. But we'll see how that goes. But it is using Tarot Shadow Work by Christine Jetty as the initial book. But when that's done and we work through that book, we probably will continue with something else, another book or another process or my own process that we've done. I think we may use some past life regression. We would like to get some of those pieces in there. We did a really great one with Joy at one point.
I think after this, at some point, I would like to do it again.
We need to, yeah.
If Joy's willing, or just to do it again.
So the other ongoing project we have is the Walking the Path. So we kind of got stuck on our current episode, which is Elements. And just with everything else going on, we haven't really put one together. So we're going to really work that out and try to get that back out there too, so we can have Walking the Path up to date. Our goal with Walking the Path for that playlist is us talking about the different pieces that mean something to us and how we process our path. The cool thing is that it's changing as we speak and as we do stuff, right? So we're going to have new things to put in there and adjust around and take out. So we'll get that new episode out too very soon, hopefully. And then we move into your topics that you have, Brooke. You have found all the topics for us today, pretty much.
So I like to look just briefly every week at what's going on in the news, and I get away from all the shootings and all the negative stuff as much I can, and it's quite challenging to find news that isn't negative, and if I can find environmental topics, I do. But this week, the first topic I found is that the U.S. Supreme Court is prepping and adding security in D.C. for expected decisions to come out on Monday regarding abortion and gun control. So they're up in that. That's really not a lot, but they are feeling pressure after the Uvalde shooting on gun control, and then, of course, abortion always comes up, and I personally don't think the government should be involved in either, but the need is actually there. So the other thing, the vertebra of a 98 million year old dinosaur was discovered in Egypt's western desert. And this post is a few days late. This is from June 9th. A fossil from a carnivorous dinosaur that lived about 98 million years ago was unearthed by an Egyptian-led team of researchers in the country's western desert. The well-preserved neck vertebra, discovered during a 2016 expedition to the Haria Oasis in the vast desert, belongs to an abelisaurid theropod, a species that lived during the Cretaceous period about 145 to 66 million years ago, according to researchers. I think that's pretty freaking cool. I wonder if that's a video. I want to see if there's a picture, like a still photo I can bring up, and it's loading. And then the other topic I had, mine are just quick news tidbits. Not news tits. That's a different show.
That is not this show.
So it's talking about how gas on average is $5 a gallon, and I just wanted to look and see why. What are the real reasons? A lot blame President Joe Biden or whoever happens to be the president. Others say it's from how Putin invaded Ukraine. And then politicians accuse the oil companies of price gouging. So what really are some reasons? So the global oil prices have been rising unevenly but sharply overall since December. The price of international crude oil has roughly doubled in that time, with the U.S. benchmark rising nearly as much and closing Friday at more than $120 per barrel. Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the resulting sanctions by the U.S. and its allies have contributed to the rise, as Russia is the leading oil producer. The U.S. is the world's largest oil producer, but U.S. capacity to turn oil into gasoline is down 900,000 barrels of oil per day since the end of 2019, according to the Energy Department. Tighter oil and gasoline supplies are hitting as energy consumption rises because of economic recovery. Also, Americans typically drive more starting around Memorial Day, adding to the demand for gasoline. So what can be done to get more oil? There's no quick fixes. It's a matter of supply and demand, and supply can't be ramped up overnight. If anything, the global oil supply will grow tighter as sanctions against Russia take hold. EU or European Union leaders have vowed to ban most Russian oil by the end of this year. The U.S. has already imposed a ban. President Biden said the ban was necessary so the U.S. does not subsidize the war in Ukraine. Defending freedom is going to cost.
Defriending?
Defriending, yeah.
Makes sense.
The United States could ask Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, or Iran to help pick up the slack for the expected drop in Russian oil production. But each of these options carry its own moral and political calculations. Republicans have called on Biden to help increase domestic oil production, for example, by allowing drilling on more federal lands and offshore, or reversing his decision to revoke a permit for a pipeline that could carry Canadian oil to Gulf Coast refineries. However, environmentalists, Democrats are against that, saying that it would undercut efforts to limit climate change. Even if Biden went against his own party, it would be months or years before those measures could lead to bringing down gas prices. The average price has jumped 77 cents since the end of March per gallon, I'm assuming, which analysts say is partly because of a refining squeeze. Why is U.S. refining down? Some refineries that produce gasoline, jet fuel, diesel, and other petroleum products shut down during the first year of the pandemic, when demand collapsed. While a few are expected to boost capacity in the next year or so, others are reluctant to invest in new facilities because the transition to electric vehicles will reduce demand for gasoline over the long run.
That is true.
The owner of one of the nation's largest refineries in Houston, Texas, announced in April that it will close the facility by the end of next year. When will it end? It could be up to motorists themselves. By driving less, they would reduce demand and put downward pressure on prices. There's got to be a point when some people will start cutting back. I just don't know what that point is.
Yeah, I don't think any of us do. It's just going to be when it is. Like I say, I mean, we are traveling less. People are traveling less, but that happens.
A couple were engaged in a sex act while driving in a FedEx truck. Only one package was damaged. Then went pop. Oh my God.
That is freaking hilarious.
Only in Florida or
Only
Texas?
in Florida.
Oh yes, Florida
like,
man for that, or woman.
Do you remember, like, there used to be a show on ID called "The Truth is Stranger Than Florida"?
Yeah, it only lasted 9 episodes.
Which was bullshit. There's plenty more content for that.
Plenty more content for that. Yeah, that is funny. How about the guy who thought an alligator was a dog, tried to pet it and got a chunk of his leg bit off? Now that's pretty stupid. I love this. You guys keep sharing new stuff. It's nice to hear funny stuff.
I saw that paranormal. They spray painted a witch statue in Salem, Massachusetts. I think they spray painted it with like this really bright red.
Is that what
Paranormal's
talking about?
Yeah, I don't remember the details, but I mean that's really sad.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Like, I just wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go to a church or any place, any building and do that. That's not right.
Disrespectful, no matter how you look at it. So, Rook, is there anything you want to do specifically before we go back into a few tarot pools?
No. Well, I think I would just say that take care of your minds and mental health. You know, one of your a really great person, Scarlett, said it on a different podcast a couple of weeks ago. Even if you have a lot of little stuff going on that leads into big things, And how true it is. If you're going through something, if you get to the point where you think you want or need help, get that help, whether it's a friend, a professional. Because I got to tell you, just and personally, my job, what I do is so demanding, and I got to the point where I just couldn't focus. I was interrupting people. I was anxious. I couldn't get anything done, and I mean, I really just had to do something. So we're doing our shadow work, and I'm doing several things. But I did go see a doctor and got started on a medicine, a non-stimulant medication to take daily, just to calm the mind until I can not need that anymore and can work through natural, spiritual, and regular ways to not need it. The reason, it was like my mind was always on and it wouldn't stop, and that's because I did not have enough norepinephrine, the chemical responsible for fight or flight and action in the system. So it wasn't regulated and literally could not shut my mind off. It's like the norepinephrine was firing and coming back in, firing and coming back in, and it was just constant. So it helps. Day 1, 2, 3, 4 on the medication, and my mind is quiet. I'm able to breathe, think, focus, and rest. And I'm going to be going to therapy for it to learn those tricks and tools and exercises to help change the mind physically. And what did you call it? Plasticity?
Neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity. So the point is, don't continue on, just pushing through. If you need help,
get help,
or are anxious, get help. Whether that's medicine, counseling, I believe in the whole body, the whole approach. Medical is definitely important. I believe, I like the holistic stuff, and that's a big part of our lives, but there's nothing that can compare to medicine, and they supplement each other. Counseling, friendship, spiritual, just do it. Don't go on and suffer, because I'm going to tell you, I haven't felt this good in, I bet, 20 years. And it's really good. These things, it's important, because if your chemicals are off or not working, it's very scientific. It's not so much things you can't see. It may just take a little time to figure out what that misfire or what that deficit is. And
very much so.
I just encourage anyone, please get help. Even if it's, you think anxiety and babble, anxiety it can stop you, like literally. I know I got to a point where I would just freeze. That's the right word. And you don't know what to do, and then when you unfreeze, you're still going, and it's a pattern. Just get help, whatever you need. That's what I think I would want to say.
Yep.
Today.
I agree.
Crippling.
I agree. I think don't judge when help is needed. Don't judge when it's not. Just don't judge at all, because we like to say that people should be able to deal with it or strong enough to deal with something, but that's not the point. It's not about being strong enough to deal with. Like, who cares if you are or you're not strong enough to deal with something? Deal with it. Work with people. Use the resources you have. If something's going to make it easier, you use it. There's so many things that happen in our lives that we can't control. We've got to be able to support each other, especially when it comes to our mental health, and not judging or holding people, to in a special place, I guess, for just because they need help. Like, it's really sad what we do. And we talked about, I think, ad nauseum at some point in one of our episodes about, and I think it's the third one. I can't remember now, but one of the episodes of Eclipsing the Shadow, you'll see where we talk about how important it is to treat it medical and clinical and psychiatric. These are all illnesses, and not even just illnesses, but there are things that exist that you can work on to do better at. So why wouldn't you? You know, you break a leg, you go get your arm set.
That's
No.
right.
Well, no. If you break your leg, you get your leg set, not your arm.
If you have a
But if you have a head break, go get a set. Get somebody to help cast you.
if you have an infection or a upper respiratory, you know, most of us go to get treatment, but I don't think we take care of our minds in the same manner.
Yeah.
Because we're taught, you know, we don't want people to think that we're weird or crazy, and it's not that it's crazy if you don't get help for what you need. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're not taking care of yourself.
Yeah, and paranormal, I think that's an important thing with a lot of people with COVID.
Isolation.
The isolation, and nothing wrong with that antidepressant. If that is helping you keep things calmed down a bit,
Yeah.
you do it because that's what works for you. Now, I would highly, of course, recommend talking through some therapies with people, making sure that you are doing everything you can that might make your life feel even better. And then also knowing if things get bad enough to a certain point that you'll know what that point is and make a change about it. Because you have to know, even if you can't fix it, you have to know when something's to the point where you can't fix it. It kind of reminds me of Ma Petite the other night, Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
So this, you know, I'm sitting on the couch with our little Chihuahua, one of the little Chihuahuas, and she's just like really hyper. I'm like, what is wrong with her? She's hyper. She's like bouncing all over. And I took one look at her and I looked at her chest and I'm like, something is wrong. We need to go get help now. Because I don't know how to correct what the issue was, and we needed outside assistance. There's no way. Yeah, we probably could have been fine if we just gave her Benadryl. But in that moment, I didn't have the capability or the bandwidth to address it other than asking for help. And that's what we need to do. We need to be willing and comfortable to ask for help. And I think that we make it so hard to say I need help, especially if it's related to thought process or, you know, your mental health. It's really sad. Because that's really what we should be talking even more about, not less. I'm hoping that people, all of you that participate or come in here, maybe get a little relief on that front too. You know, a little bit of distraction, a little bit of watching us be stupid.
Yeah.
And we're going to pull a couple cards now too. So, are you going to pull? If anybody wants. So if anybody in chat would like a reading, we'll do what we've been doing. We'll each pull a card or two, since it's just two of us, and kind of go from there. If you want, if you don't want to, I can do them. It's up to you.
Yeah, if anybody wants one, or we can do one for the week. We can do one for the week.
So
I don't know if you can show books on here, can you?
you can show books, yeah.
Okay. So this is a book Mystic read, and I am going to be reading it as a part of my shadow work. And you want to give a quick one or two liner about the book?
Sure. So Robert Johnson builds a lot of what is in this book off of what do you call it? Jungian psychology and some Freudian psychology and some of his own thoughts. And there is a Christian undertone in this book. However, as you know, I'm not going to judge that because it is still a great book with a lot of really good information in it. You just want to adjust it out a little bit to the to what's going on. It goes into a lot of detail about how important it is to own your own shadow, as the name of the book suggests. It is an easy, quick read. I will tell you, it has given me a completely different outlook on a lot of the processes of shadow work. Not so much as in, oh my God, shadow work is different, or this magical thing, or this whole crazy thing. The truth of it all is, it really walks you into and gives you a perspective of all the things that you do in your life that can affect you later on, and how to own that process. And I think in the Discord, before we got a couple readings we got. So we're going to do Unexplained Possibilities, and then we'll hit Susie Chen, Dragon Dancer, Paranormal. We'll try to keep track. Noella. Let me write this down because I'm going to get lost. Oh no, it doesn't matter to me. We go in order. We good. So we have Melvin, Susie Chen, Heather, Para. We got everybody. I love it. Joy. So we know which one of you types faster on the keyboards.
We'll go. Quick, right back.
I'll wait till you get back.
You
But
want
yeah.
to do that? We're gonna use your Cosmo.
I mean, we used separate decks last time, but we can use the same one if you want. I'm good with that. We'll each pull a card from it.
Awesome.
So yeah, it looks like it's about to storm. So we'll do a 2 card just because it's 12:43 and you don't want to keep everybody forever. So we'll do a 2 card and then kind of see what happens and where it comes from, and then we might need to go put some things up because it is looking nasty outside. Oh, this blend! I wish you guys could be here to smell it. It is so good. I gotten pretty good, obviously, at typing. I worked for a Smart Beep, and I think that has changed my life as an adult. It was a skill that I didn't know I needed. But I mean, they had me in a computer in like 4th grade. You know, the old computers that when you turn them on, the whole like room dimmed because they took so much energy. So we're going to use the Cosmovisions Oracle deck, I think, to do this, and then Rook and I will share off the deck and see what happens. I know he went to grab a drink, I think, and probably the restroom, so we'll give him a minute. Yeah. See, this mix that we have is so powdery that if I were to blow just a little bit of air on there, it would fly all over the place. And that is where a little bit of essential oil or olive oil would really help, or honey, if you choose to use honey, that would be very helpful. Oh, hi, Iris. So yeah. We'll just wait on Rook. Ooh, we got some flowers growing out front too, and I don't want to pick them, but I kind of want to pick them. If you know what I mean? I'm gonna learn how to dry flowers and my own herbs a little bit better too, like a better process. I'm not that great at it. I generally will dry them and they will just like flake away, or I'll forget them and then they kind of just fall off. But that's something that we can probably do. There's just so much humidity here. It's not as it is not as easy. Just so happens, Miss Joy, I actually, I don't know if you can see that, have that oil. We used it in our last blend, so this will be our binding oil. So that's perfect. That was a good option. I'm glad you said that, because I have that one. And I use it in a sun mix because it smells like grass, fresh cut grass to me. Oh, yes. All right. So we're going to use that to bind.
All right.
When we get there.
Vertivert?
Vetiver or vetiver.
Oh, vetiver. Vertivert.
I don't know how to say it right.
I can't smell it.
All right, so I have shuffled and cut. Melvin is up first. So I am going to pull the first card on this one, and then you'll pull the first card on the next one. So I just pulled one.
Okay.
7 of Embers. Oh, I gotta go and show it. That is such a pretty. These cards are so pretty. I have to walk all the way around.
Oh, I'm sorry, because I was... Oh, the smell of the first rain, yes.
I can't, this is really hard for me.
Yes, fresh cut grass is not, that's a good smell, and rain.
So that is your first card, Melvin.
What is
7
it?
of Embers. What is that? Is that a hole? Nope, that's dog fur.
Nope, that's BG. Speaking of, where is she?
She's laying down right over there. don't know if you want the book or not. This is the booklet, or the book is up on the wall behind you, actually, if you would like to use it.
Oh, this one right here, right?
Yeah. So the Seven of Embers, we're going to take it as a fire card if we were in traditional, right? And so, this is really at a I know it's just
It's weird shuffling these little cards,
I know.
isn't it?
They're little. So Seven of Embers, we're really in a different place here with this deck because remember, this is not a tarot deck. This is an oracle deck that's just situated similar to a tarot deck. There's a whole bunch of bees in the tree that I didn't notice. I just saw. Look, see them? Mm-hmm. We got bees out front. It's exciting. I love it. Anywho, so we're going to take this as kind of like a fire card. If you think of numerologically sevens are often about strife and difficult things and difficult situations that present themselves. And so this feels almost like there's a creative endeavor that's going on, Melvin, that you are trying to finish, but something keeps getting in the way, and you keep stopping and keep starting and keep stopping and keep starting. So the Seven of Embers is really about trying to get through that process to the next step of saying, like, just freaking go for it, man, and actually do what it is you were thinking about doing and or started, actually, because this to me would already be started. And interestingly, I don't know what type of book it is, but it does show, and I'll have Rourke take it back up so you can see it again if you want, but it has a book in the middle that's got the page turning. So reading a book, writing a book, processing information, something is not to your liking, and you haven't gotten quite to the end of it or to where you want this creative project to be. And so look into probably not a big thing, something little. Look into what it is that's keeping you from going ahead and getting it done, and just go ahead and pump it out because now's the right time to finish it up. And this isn't like this big project or big hubba to do. It's just something small that has been in progress for a little too long, and you need to take it to the next level to create it.
Ooh.
Oh, that's neat.
Cool. All right. So I pulled the Dreamer, and I'll definitely want to read what they...
I'll pull up on this.
Yeah. So I pulled for Melvin the Dreamer, and I want to get it in focus. I don't think it is.
Oh, you probably want to pull it in the book. Let me grab it.
Yeah.
Because I do not know this deck very well, so I can't give you any advice other than what I would read it as intuitively myself. So I will pull the Dreamer card.
I mean, I see her. She's kind of hovering over the water, and she's got like a spray of water going around her, and she's over.
Is there a number at all?
There is not a number. No. Just the Dreamer. Looks like she's holding could be holding a whale or something, or a snail. Hard to tell. Yeah. Ooh, cool. Oh, that's cool. All right. That's awesome. I'm gonna see what my Dreamer card.
I can't find it anywhere in this book.
Huh. Here.
I'm on the right side. Yep.
Puzzle Visions Oracle.
It just says the Dreamer. So those are the upside down pages. Oh, I think it should be okay. I just wasn't looking properly. That was my fault. What should be the very last one? The Dreamer. There it is.
Ah.
Well, that just took forever to get to. Sorry about that, guys.
All right,
And
let me
girls and
show you
everybody
the book picture. It's a little bit bigger, maybe
Yeah.
easier to see. Let's see. Or maybe not. The Dreamer.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, Melvin, I do think I remember you talking about that to somebody. I don't remember announcing it, but I remember maybe a conversation you were talking with somebody else who's trying to write something, maybe? I could be making that completely up. I don't know. But I thought I remembered that conversation now that you've said it, so not sure.
The Mirror card, and I like that he puts this in here, is the Queen of Swords. A mysterious figure hovers their feet off the ground. One hand on their knee, the other faced upwards, holds a strange, mesmerizing power. The wind blows strongly, but they are unmovable, as if they are somewhere else. Beneath them, a small scene resembling the observatory materializes in the snow. There seems to be a usual power. I think that's supposed to be unusual. There seems to be an unusual power emanating from the dreamer, bringing elements from their world into our own. Perceptive, complex, clairvoyant, uplifting. The dreamer is perceptive and complex. They have a clear mind and can hone their wit for good. These are positive aspects, but in a reading it, the dreamer will also show up when you get carried away, living too far in the future. You have a big mind and big ideas, but you can get too caught up in your head that you forget to make the dreams into a reality. It is important for the dreamer to find a friend or accomplice who can help you build up these fantasies into something tangible.
So the dreamer sounds like it's saying the same thing, to bring something out of the theory world into the physical world. You know what I mean? Like transform it, dream it up, bring it in. Yeah, that'll be awesome. I seriously thought somebody was talking about it. I feel like it might have been Anima, maybe? Nora? I'm not sure. But I feel like there were two people talking about it, and both people were talking about how hard it is to publish something in the occult world. You know what? I know who it is. I just connected you with somebody else that I think about a lot. So you're gonna pull first on the next one, but put that card back in.
Okay. And this is for
Susie Chen.
Oh. Let's see. Did she have a question, or do we just want to see what the?
Do you have a question, Miss Susie Chen? But thank you, Melvin. I appreciate that feedback. But yeah, no, I am a big fan, and her name just popped up on my phone because she went live, and that's why I got my brain confused. Angela Symposium. I am a subscriber to her and a Patreon. She is a occult scholar. Like, she's her PhD. She really dives deep into occult and mostly fascination with magic. She's got some really good colleagues. It's just a really altogether really neat person with the research chops to back it up. So she does a lot of research. She will not tell you what her personal belief system is, but just judging by her last visit of her dream of going to Stonehenge, I'm pretty sure she's in the Druid witchcraft arena. But she won't say it. But so you should check that out. That's Angela's Symposium, and it was her talking with Esoterica, which is Justin Sledge, who also is a scholar in religious studies. So both of them are really cool. You probably have seen them and been on their stuff. If you haven't, you should. Really great stuff. Really great things in there. But anyway, let's go back to Susie Chen. I didn't see a Susie Chen ask a question. I hope she is still on. That worries me. But if she stayed on this long, I guess we're good.
Oh yeah, we're hitting a couple of hours.
Yeah,
God, it goes by
tired.
so quick. Yeah, let's see.
I need to eat.
Yeah. Okay. What does Susie Chen needs to know?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, is the right?
Oh,
time?
now
Okay.
I'm biased on that one. Let's see.
Let me clear it. Is the right time now or later? I know I'm a little biased on that, so I'm not going to transfer my thoughts into it.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
God, these little cards are so weird.
Come on down.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying, Joy.
Uh-huh.
But I can't put my,
Ding, ding, ding. Oh, it felt good on my back. Oh, God, now I'm dizzy. Oof. Okay. Damage my cards.
is now the right time for now or later. All right. What is it? Ten of birds. So it was inverted, and we can do inverted readings.
I wouldn't, because I haven't been inverting anything.
Okay, ten of
And
birds.
if you inverted it, I need to put them back. 'Cause
No, let me pull up in the book to show the picture, and there is no number. Well, there's a number 10. Here we go. We're in this 8 of birds. Okay, so to your question, my card was the 10 of birds. It's easier to show the book picture than the card. I don't know if you can even see it.
just for the record, and I'm not trying to make fun of you, but it was inverted because you had the whole deck upside down. So it wasn't inverted.
I wish that
Ooh, that's a pretty card. Okay. I'm not ashamed yet,
Okay,
don't worry.
so the 10 of birds. The mirror card is the 10 of swords. Arriving at the scene too late, you find the carcass of a calf. You made it this far through all of the mental exhaustion only to be met with complete loss. Picked apart by vultures, nothing is left of the calf but bones. Unfortunately, not all endings are joyful. Sometimes in the end we are met with sadness. Let it be brief and let it be known.
That was hilarious. Sorry.
Meanings, a difficult ending, betrayal, deception, challenging. You're at the end of a chapter and you had hoped for a resolution that would leave you better off. But here it is not the case. This card shows when we are met with difficult endings. It often speaks of betrayal, deceptions, and something being wrongfully terminated.
It's all mystical.
This ending was out of your control, so it is important to understand the impact of it, but not to dwell on it. If you spend too long picking apart the reasons why it went south, it will eat you alive. Appreciate that it existed at all and move onwards towards your next chapter. Okay.
Sounds like it's saying it's time to go.
Time to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then go ahead and show her the card I pulled for you, Miss Susie, is the Geomancer. You don't have to look it up in the book. You don't have to look it up in the book. Well, I guess if you're going to show the picture, you can. So the Geomancer, like the first thing that I think of when I see this is first, like instead of a head, it's just an eye, and he's going to show you the picture. And this person is almost look like they're dancing, if it's even a person, and watering plants, and the plants are growing. So Geomancer would say to me, this is the person who's ready to grow and water and put roots down. So, you know, it's really important to me to think of the all-seeing eye saying you just need to do what feels right. So no, don't let anybody push you into it before it's too soon, because you have to be comfortable with it. But if you noticed in the picture that Rook is showing, the Geomancer is feeding and watering those plants and moving about. Like, to me, it looks like dancing a little bit, and having that knowledge. That's what the eye of the head means, represents, is already having that knowledge and the ability to make that decision. So this is basically you know, deep connection to the earth and really needing to set the roots down and be solid now. So if Rook's card, which one was yours?
The 10 of birds.
Was it the 10 of birds?
Yep.
So the 10 of birds is saying what it's saying connected to the Geomancer, then to me it's going to be a sooner than later thing, but it still can't be before you feel ready and have things in place, because there's And we don't need cards to tell us you've got a lot of things you've got to put in place first. Like that have to be coordinated and organized. That's not going to be easy, and that's going to be a challenge. So don't push it on that end of it without everything in place. Really, that's where it would be difficult. The geomancer is really good at seeing upcoming stuff and seeing what's coming. That's the mancer part, and the geo is the earth part. So knowing where the earth needs to be, which means it'll happen when it's supposed to. That's my thoughts. So if I had to answer the question directly of Aquarian, it would be only you can make that decision. It's going to be sooner than you probably think, but not right at this very moment, not immediate, not now.
And you prepare, but it's going to be like a sudden, it's time to go.
Yeah.
You'll know when it is, and it's going to be like, okay,
it's time. It's
time to go. So keep getting ready and preparing so that when that happens, you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Susie, I hope that gives you some information, and I hope you get a chance to be inverted.
It's always good to be a little inverted once in a while.
All right, so Dragon Dancer is next. I guess I will pull first on this round. These cards are just so pretty to me. Like they're makes me. Rain alert! Rain alert!
I'm tired of alerts. I want action. I want a storm.
It's been storming like for 3 days.
Well, in Texas, we have better rain and thunderstorms than here.
Well, then go to Texas.
I like Florida.
Sure do. Land of the guns and gays. All right. So I'll give you yours to continue shuffling. I got the vessel for Dragon Dancer. Actually, I probably should have asked if she has a question first. That would have been the appropriate thing to do.
Yeah.
So Dragon, do you have a question? I already have a first card for you, but we will direct it towards that question. So you tell me. We'll give it a minute.
The universe has pulled that card. We're getting a lot of these. These cards are like the major arcana. Oh, but that has a number. Okay. So.
Yeah, so if it has a number, it's the major arcana. If it doesn't have a number, it's the beings, which is the court cards. So this is a major arcana.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh.
I want to be a video dancer.
The Vessel.
Oh, you've got the book on your phone?
So the Vessel, easiest thing to do is to look at the Vessel and see it as a vessel, a container. And if we're talking about major arcana, then our first thought is going to be, what is this vessel representing? And what is it creating for you? So it's almost as if there's something under the surface that still needs to come out that hasn't. And it's shining so brightly in itself as a container, it really has to be opened and see what's inside. There's something else I read recently about shadow work that talks about how the box can be old and gray and dirty, but of your heart or of your even your body as you age and get older. But as a young person, as an older person that might have this gray box, you open up what's in the heart, and what's inside is the amazing. So it goes along with the cliche of it's what's inside that counts. But the vessel in this case, so far, we'll see what Rook's card is, but for me, the vessel is representing allowing that shine to happen, allowing you to open up and put your best foot forward, but also remember that it's not, that's just the best foot forward. It's not the whole case. It's what's inside the vessel that's really important. So if I look at the actual meaning that's written in this oracle, it is a mask that hides what is underneath. If it shows up, it's time to rein in your demons. So a lot of demon stuff. Don't let addictions and obsessions.
You okay, BG?
Just has a little bit of a cough. It can be too easy to get wrapped up in the successes that you're starting to lose touch with your soul. So even when the terrible is swallowing you whole, there is still a light found in others. Don't be afraid to ask. So a little different than what I would have, than my interpretive meaning there. But that's from the book. But truly about putting your best foot forward, and you have stuff showing on the outside. You got to take the lid off and make sure that everything inside matches too. So I can see that as a shadow work kind of driver, or maybe not quite shadow work, something a little bit lighter than shadow work. More of a just a, okay, yeah, I got to accept that and move on to another piece. It's such a pretty card.
Ooh, okay.
We are shuffling, I swear. Don't you dare bend one of my cards.
Ooh, grr.
You might have to begin your own deck.
Okay.
I'm just kidding, kind of.
All right, so I drew the entertainer, and I want to show the protector. Let's see here. I like to show the pictures. You know, the pictures might show up showing through the phone. I don't know. Entertainer. Mirror card is the Knight of Pentacles. The entertainer. All right. And in case you couldn't see the card, a strange man dressed in a colorful magician's garb juggles 3 enormous strawberries in the air. The gold accents shine in the afternoon sun as his vivacious suit draws all the attention to him. The entertainer is always looking for the next crowd to please, no matter if it ends up making himself into the fool. He jumps from party to party, ready to impress the next group of friends. He knows many tricks, but when it comes to an emotional connection, he can easily fumble. Skillful, amusing, and pleasing. It's a neutral presence. The entertainer is a conundrum of a character. He has acquired an audience from his notable skills and successes, but has grown too dependent on these tricks to imbue meaning into his life. He measures value based on what there is to gain rather than the inherent beauty. In a reading, the entertainer can be good when inquiring on fame and success, but in emotional or spiritual arenas, the entertainer is a fraud. When it comes to matters of the heart, they can freeze up.
Wow. So you can alter that along with the vessel to mean that there's something that you are skillful at, that you are juggling, that is entertaining, that it is really good, it's up and about and very positive forward, but it may not be capturing what you want it to capture, or you may be holding something back that's preventing you from emotionally connecting to whatever that is.
And it needs to come through.
It needs to come through.
Something might be blocking
Yeah.
something from coming through is what I get from the combination.
Yeah. So I would look at whatever's writer's block is coming up and know that you have the skill and all the things to do it, which is what the entertainer does, but there's a missing emotional piece to whatever it is you're doing, to whatever's holding you back or keeping you from opening that vessel up to the next place. So very interesting.
Who's next, Willow?
Paranormal witch it is.
You got a question, Para?
Para.
That's one thing about that medicine. The only thing I'm experiencing is dry mouth, which is, it's weird because it's not all the time.
Well, yeah, but you know why? It's your sympathetic and parasympathetic response of your system is to dry your mouth up because it negates and pulls everything away from your GI system to be ready for a fight or flight. So you're adjusting the chemicals that your body's been in. This really, and I'm going so way off on this one. This is going exactly off of the polyvagal stuff that Scarlett's been talking about. Like, truly. Yeah, it sounds like Dragon Dance. Like there's an emotional piece that needs to be or is potentially missing from something that you're doing, and that's keeping you from just putting your best foot forward. That's what it sounds like from what I'm putting those two together. I mean, we probably could do a couple of clarifications, but I know it's past 1 o'clock. We're over 2.5 hours almost. So, general.
What does Para need to hear? It is my turn to pull the first one, right? Just checking.
It's fine. It didn't matter to me, but yes. Yes, yes, yes. My GG. I don't know where I would be without these dogs.
Said stop.
In the name of love. Sorry.
All right, the Mystic.
Ooh.
Let's see what she got here. Let me show the picture. Working. It's a jealous fine.
That's in the beings section.
Yeah. I was looking at the candle because I wanted to block out what some of the things I know she's been dealing with and only what was supposed to come through. That's why I wasn't staring off into space. I was looking at the that's why I was looking at the candle. The Mystic. Mirror card, the Queen of Wands. All right. A figure stands on the precipice of a molten lava pool, swinging on a three-flamed lantern in the night. Book pressed firmly against their body, they seem to be hiding something learned from the unknown. The mystic has nearly an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. They are determined to seek out truth and courageous enough to think beyond the constructs of society for answers. Courage, determination, wisdom. The presence is uplifting. The mystic shows up when you have acquired certain knowledge that needs to be shared. In a reading, this card suggests that you may know more than you let on or realize. I could see that with her.
Very much.
It may require courage and determination to speak your voice, but your views on the situation are crucial to a group understanding. This high pedestal may make you feel isolated from others, so come down and share with those around you.
Ooh.
And I think you're doing that.
That certainly fits, exactly.
With your blog. And when you're ready to do some videos, we can help you.
Sure can.
Put them on our channel.
Or on your channel. We'll be more than happy to help
channel.
video edit and put them back to you.
We can set it up. Help you set it up.
So I drew the Eight of Trees for you, which is interesting because the Eight of Pentacles is a card of accomplishment. It is a card of success and knowledge and completion and the skill that you've been working on, this mastery of something. It's being part of a society and that you have a unique offering. So if you couple that with the Mystic, you have a unique offering that you need to share with the world. I mean, this is the clearest read we've had in God knows how long. But, you know, don't shy away when people are coming to you. You actually have a lot to offer to the group that we need or could benefit from. And I think you maybe feel that that's not okay or not allowed, perhaps. Or maybe it's just uncomfortable for some reason. But at this point, continue doing what you're doing. It is something that you are skillful at and good at and should continue doing. And you need to continue sharing it and not worrying about things that could potentially keep you from sharing. That would be my take.
All right.
Oh, Noella. Do you have a question, Noella? Cuestiones. Ooh, my package is 10 stops away.
That would just make me more anxious seeing those updates.
I don't pay attention to them at all. They don't make me nervous, or I just don't care. Because they're not accurate times either. Noella. Well, I think this isn't about being accepted, though, paranormal. This is completely different. This is saying, doesn't matter where you're accepted. You have something to offer, and you need to be, what's the word? Confident in that offering. And I mean, hopefully, not physically can't help there, but I think I'm hoping you feel some acceptance within our groups and within what we have. And we've been seeing what you write and what you do and what's on your blog, and I think that it has something to offer to us.
Oh gosh,
I mean, we're the group,
everybody.
right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So Noella is also going to do a general. So we are going to. I feel like cutting. Here we go. I'm pulling a lot of trees today. We've got the 3 of trees. We are still in the element of earth here with the 3 of trees. And so our first thing that comes to mind when we're talking about, for me, 3s, it's that you're like in the middle beginning stages. Like 1 through 3 is like getting started. 4, 5, 6 is in the middle. 7, 8, 9 is the end. 10 is the culmination of the end of the thing. So we're at the 3rd part. So we're in the beginning, getting ready to transition. So this is involving something that is really hard working that you have going on. This is taking a lot of physical work. This is taking endless hours, and you're starting to see a little bit of something come up. What?
I'm just smiling because that's exactly what it says.
I know.
Oh.
I'm reading it.
Oh.
So the card is assigned to keep going. It's a don't stop now. Don't stop, believe. Just process and continue working with what you're doing. I would like to see what Rook pulls to see how it alters the meaning of the 3 of trees, but it is definitely focused on a time right now that you are in hard work and something that's taking a lot more out of you than maybe you thought or you have done in the past. But you're feeling good about it. A little wishy-washy maybe, but feeling good about it, and it feels like things are starting to go in the right direction. And I think that also may cause a little bit of fear if you feel like you're starting to go in a positive direction. The 3 of trees is saying you need to accept your hard work and accept that this might actually give you something beneficial back. And if you're not feeling that or connecting to that message, then it is coming very shortly. You will be thrust into the hard work. And make sure that whatever it is you're doing, that you're doing the right thing. Like, meaning, in other words, if you're feeling like you're half-assing something, stop doing it and do something else that you're not going to half-ass. It's not quitting. It's aligning with the thing that gives you joy. You know? You're still early enough in it that you can adjust over to what it is you want to do. And this, from whenever it's trees, well, it's going to depend on Rook's card, but trees usually are representing earth or things that are here. So this doesn't feel like a paranormal thing or a metaphysical thing, I should say. This is something in your life right now is either about to or is already really causing you a lot of hard work and maybe even stress, but you still feel overall good about it and make you move in the right direction.
All right. The Protector. I keep getting all the people ones.
Yeah, the beings.
The beings. The Protector. Noella, the Protector.
So the Protector, I know, is the 2 sumos.
Yep.
This came up last week or on another read.
Mirror card, King of Wands. The 2 sumo guys. Huh. Interesting. Okay. I can kind of get those words kind of aligned to me with Noella. A molten figure emerges from the magma and pounces towards the snowy field. Keen perception gives them the upper hand in a duel as they arrive at the scene ahead of their foe's expectation. The Protector has an inner need to guard their territory and those around them. They can predict outcomes of events before they have even begun. Perceptive, protective, flowing creativity, uplifting. When you pull the protector in a reading, it can be symbolic of an excellent time to take a deeper plunge into your creativity. There is a guarding energy around the projects you are taking on, something bigger than you that knows it's important to see these things through. Allow it to radiate through you and see this as a beneficial time for new ideas to emerge. Trust your intuition to guide you through this state of heightened creativity. So it does go with
And so
Three of Trees.
It refunctions or it readdresses the Three of Trees as more of a make sure you're on the right project, and if you are, you can really take it deep by having this protection around you. It's a good, stable time for you to go deeper. This would be like, if you're interested in past life regression, this is like the chance to do that because you have that protection around you and you'll have that process and that safety net to go deeper in. So, but yes, magma sumo daddy at that.
Magma. Yeah. There's the fire in there, which makes sense. The fire. And I also can see, and I haven't interacted with Noella a lot, but just through the few times and observations, I can see her as a protector of people too. Just from her energy and comments through different things, which is a really good thing. So if you don't feel something you're doing, do something else with gusto and see it through.
And go deeper than you would normally go because you've got a shroud of protection around you. I do want to go back really, really quickly. So, and Noelle, hopefully that helps you out and gives you some insight. Paranormal Witch, I saw your comment about Trinity. Yeah, 3 is absolutely representation of Trinity in many different forms. It can also represent incredible strength of transition because think of a triangle, which also a triangle is a symbol potentially for a pyramid. Triangles are very strong functions of geometry when they are out in the real world, in certain planes, right? So that 3 of Trinity also often represents strength in weird places, like strength that you would find you didn't know you have. And also, especially for me in minor arcanas, 3s are representing that transition from like a 2-dimensional to a 3-dimensional world. It's that going from, I'm really got everything. It's mise en place, as Joy would say. It's everything is in place. Now let's start working the process. And so if you do that preparation, depending, of course, what suit you're on. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of go back. You're absolutely correct. I think Trinity is always a good way to look at it. Eternal Forever, a little bit less on that meaning for a 3, specifically in the tarot, because we're talking about the minors, which are little bits and pieces of life that make life happen. And then the major arcana is a little bit different too, because when you're in the 3, that's your Empress, I believe. And you really want to, wouldn't think of it that way. It's a little bit of a different move for me that I would think. But yeah, no, very, very astute. I appreciate that information. That's cool.
All right, and now we're on to
Joy to the world, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy, if you are here, do you have a question?
And pain, it's like sunshine and rain.
Well, we went
sing
different
it
ways
all
with that,
God's
didn't we?
children, joy and pain, sunshine and rain.
I really like this deck. I don't think I would use this like really commonly.
No, I think it would be something like
Yeah, it's very
more
hyper.
specific. Yeah.
But I feel like this would be a good one when you are just pulling 1 or 2 cards at a time.
Yeah.
If I did a 10-card draw with this, I think I'd get lost.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of those elementals or whatever they are.
Yeah, and it's just so much going on. But do you have a question specifically, Joy? And I apologize if you did already ask that, but I didn't see it. I don't know why I thought Joy was coming over today for some reason.
I did too. I guess I.
Not that we're mad that you're not. I'm just saying I kind of had it in my
like-
head that Joy will be here around 11 anyway.
Yeah, I did too.
That's too funny. But if you have a question, we'll get some cards pulled. And go from there.
Hey, I know it didn't manifest, but I really do want to do a karaoke stream. It didn't manifest for the birthday one, but I think that would be a lot of fun.
I have to really be drunk.
I will do it next direction. Next direction.
Okay.
Some stuff. Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm so excited about getting these layers for our dragons. That's just phenomenally outside of anything I would have imagined artistically with stuff like this. It's insane. I don't even understand it. Let's see a next direction. Is it east?
Is it south?
Is it north?
Is it center?
I would have gone with west next, but sure. I'm getting loopy. I know.
Oh gosh.
So, not to separate this out because we're getting ready to do a reading, but I have made a self 30-day challenge to not drink for 30 days. Not because I care about being like drunk or alcohol, that stuff. It's just I want to challenge myself to do it for 30 days. And yes, I appreciate that.
I love Melvin's honesty.
I try to be honest and open all the time, but what drinking removes, and I know everybody says drinking removes the filter, but it's not my nice, mean filter. It's just my willingness to care less about hurting your feelings. You know what I mean? So.
Which I envy Melvin's finesse to do it so smoothly.
Yeah.
When he does it, he's smooth and finesseful.
Yeah, last night I was by the time we got to the post show, I was pretty drunk. On that rum, but yeah, I'll be able to do it 30 days, and then I'm not going to go dry. I just want to make sure that I'm still in control, and that's one way that I feel like checking it and being public about it will help keep me in control. So, but yeah, so it'll be very interesting to. I talk more when I'm drunk. I'm definitely more less concerned about people's feelings. But I'm gonna shut up now so we can do this read.
Ooh, 5 of trees.
A lot of trees.
There's a lot of trees coming up today. 5 of trees. Let's see. They're very pretty trees.
Well, Joy, this is if you want
Okay.
direction, this is a linear direction for sure. So I just pulled the 6 of trees right after Brad pulled the 5 of trees, and as you know, we have been shuffling through this, and we've done 6 separate readings and shuffled in between all of them. So to have the 5 and the 6 next to each other and in trees, which is the land of the here and the now.
Yes.
You can't get more linearly directive than that. But I don't know what the direction is yet, just that it's in one way.
It's definitely Earth. Mirror card is 5 of Pentacles. Here is your 5 of trees. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful photo. Or drawing. Illustration.
Not a great card to pull, though.
Okay.
For this, but we're going to have a direction.
So the direction is Earth. Right? So, financial loss, illness, or hardship. Challenging. A fatal rot sweeps across the land, causing utter devastation. 5 withered trees line the grim scene. Branches reaching up towards the sun for hope. The crop that was thriving here is now dead. The soil poisoned from chemicals and from being overworked. You can still smell the death lingering in the air, and there's little opportunity to nurture new life here or anytime soon. A dark purple cloud sweeps across the sky, ready to eclipse the sun. Everything you have worked for has been destroyed, and you have little faith in the future. You may be at rock bottom, but don't wallow too long in that. Instead, learn from this. Spending time with your loss and grieving for what is gone will be the only way to move on from it. Hardships will always have a way of setting us back, but it is up to you to how you overcome it.
Yes. Now, if this were a one-card draw, that would suck.
Right, but
But
it's
Universe
not.
gave us 2 cards, and I want you to take those up if you can. I know they're the small ones, but I want to see. I want them side by side.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, yes.
If you can.
Yeah.
Because it's going to show the direction, right? Because we're left to right. We're going on a direction here. So the 6 of trees, unlike what most of us know, 5s are always going to be really challenging. 5s and 7s actually, usually. But the 6 of trees is the rebound, right? So we are now going into abundance, giving, and gratitude. So if you look at that 5 and 6 of trees, like that Rook has up right there, you see that death and decay, and you see the muddiness of the pathway, but then the path all of a sudden, the 6 opens it right up, and you're right out into the bridge, and things start coming back. So this is really going into that process of, the pain of the rot that you just went through, and you have the understanding that you need to share your wealth with those less fortunate. So this is the giving of abundance card. So your abundance that you're giving, even if you're commissioned and paid for it, you are giving abundance of your creativity, because nobody else can create what you can create. And that's where the 6 of trees is coming in. Even if you don't have abundance, you still have gratitude for it, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean like the giving and all that stuff, and I know you know that of all people. But this is telling you to know that rot and walk through it, come out through the path, keep going forward, and your creativity will be abundant. You'll have an endless amount of creativity coming into your life, and you will continue to have that and be able to give that as something that you have to offer others. And you will reap benefit from it. You will reap gain from it. And that gain is expected, it is appropriate, and it is fair. So that is the 5 and 6 trees together.
Yeah, these were shuffled very well.
That was really strange.
Yeah, that was strange.
But good read. I like that. So let me see. I didn't read challenges. All we saw that. Actually reflects what you just go good. That's kind of the feeling you get because you're walking into the abundance. People get confused. It's not about giving away things or having so much you have stuff to give away. It's about being grateful and have gratitude for what you do have. And there's an exchange of energy, right? I'm glad the commission is paid, so that exchange is already done. But regardless, what you offer in your creativity doesn't even really have a price when it comes down to it. I mean, we often sit, when we're sitting here at this table, you've seen it, right to our right over our ancestor altar. Joy, you've seen it. Everybody else, we'll have to show it. We need to do a video of our things, but that hanging looks at us and kind of keeps watch over what's happening in this room. And as you know, it changes every time you look at it. It looks different.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. But anyway, I digress. I hope that gave you some direction. And from my perspective, this is one of the longest ones we've done. We're trying to keep it to like an hour and a half-ish.
Yeah.
I certainly don't mind going over at any point in time, but I know everybody has things to do. But this was very nice. I much appreciate you guys coming in and participating as we made our blends and our discussions. I think one thing we might do is maybe move our tarot up a little bit earlier. In the discussion, and get maybe a couple out of the way that way. But I just want to say thank you for coming in and being part of what we're doing here. This is truly, no offense, Malice, but this is truly the most beneficial and fun and enjoyable thing that I and Rook, I think, are able to put out.
Yeah.
And it's giving us more than anything we're putting out. So, thank you for that.
Thank you. Love you all. Hope you have a safe and good week.
Yes, have a safe and good week.
And take care of yourself.
Take care of yourselves.